Hello, my friends. Welcome to Striker Breaks Auction Draft. We're doing a live draft just for fun. We're going to talk strategy. We're going to talk about all kinds of different players. Research, what to do before your draft, what you can do during your draft, different players' values. There's really a lot to talk about. And sit back and relax. There's nothing too crazy, but we're going to start out with a little bit of what's this league all about. So this league is with my friends and I. We've been doing this for quite a while, quite a few years, many years, and it's a keeper league. We get to keep 2 players, and you get to keep them for the value that they were drafted at. If you picked them up off the waivers, you can keep them for $1. If you keep them for 2 years in a row, it's going to cost you an additional amount of money, $10 additional. So it kind of evens the playing field a little bit. I kept Ellie De La Cruz for $1, and I got Julio for $11 because I had him the year before. Got to keep him for $1 last year, so this year it's $11. We get $270 to start with, and you'll see at the top here, this is the price that everybody has left on their salary. Most people are around the same amount. We can check out some of the keepers that were kept. Bryce Harper and Altuve, both for $17. We got Evaldi for $1. That's the only person who's kept just one. My name is Auto Draft, and we already talked about that. Aces from Spaces got to keep Riley Green for $1 and Aaron Judge for $39. You'll see at the top, just for relativity's sake, Bobby Witt has a pre-draft rank dollar value of $60, but over here on the right-hand side, this is what they typically go for. Auction value, $41. Mookie, $51. So we'll see. I don't exactly know what to expect. Hopefully everybody's here. It's always good when you get a full crowd that's here to draft, because if there's somebody that's auto drafting, that's no fun. George Kirby got kept for $13. Merrill Kelly for $1. Jobu needs a refill. Kept Corbin Carroll for $11. That's a nice pick. And he got Acuna for $48. He could have been about a $70 player. Deadheads kept Rutschman for $11 and Scooble for $1. That's a great pick. Diabetic Mafia, questionable picks. Jose Ramirez, $57, and Bo Bichette for $42. Not sure if he fully understands the concept here of keeping and why you keep and how and what and when and where. And we'll move on. Matt Olson for $32. Abrams for $1. I hope this isn't super loud. If that gets really loud, we'll have to turn that down. Let me adjust some settings. It was super loud on my end. But anyway, we're going to talk about a whole bunch of different resources you can use during the draft, before the draft, etc. Whirling Darvish kept Matt Olson for $32. CJ Abrams for $4. Short strokes, Kyle Tucker for $11. That's a good pick. And Steele for $1. Hote's Heroes got Candelario for $1 and Alzolay for $1. Myrtle Beach, Sonny Gray for $1. That's good. Key Bryan for $1. First player on the board, Trey Turner. And Roster's Twin Terror kept Barrios for $1 and Javier for $11. Not really in on Trey Turner. I don't have any interest in him, actually, especially for that price. 38, he'll probably go. See, a lot of these guys are going to go for more. He has a pre-draft value of $49. That seems awfully high to me, especially for a guy who's not stealing the amount of bases he used to. How's it going, everybody? Shout out to you in the chat. Wyatt Langford. Yeah. I don't know how much talking I'm going to be doing with the chat because I have to focus. A lot of my focus is going to be going here. But what I will do is I'll talk you through my thought process along the way. So Trey Turner for $43 went to Owen. So he had to spend some money right away. One of the important things is to try to get into the mind of your opponents during an auction draft. Their tendencies. Usually you'll be in a league where you know a lot of people. Probably been in a draft for years, and try to figure out, wow, Carlos Correa for $4. See what I mean? I need to pay attention, but try to figure out their tendencies. Before you draft, look at all the keepers, figure out who's keeping who and what kind of value is gone off the board. We got Nando here as an outfielder. I'm going to keep my eye on this. He's got a pre-draft value of $50. He's somebody that I would be in on if the price was right, but I don't know that the price is going to be right. We got a 10-second. It resets back to 10 seconds. 44, 45, 46. Yeah, he's gonna approach that $50 pre-draft value. I've got a few guys. So before you do your draft, one thing, a little bit of advice. One thing that I always do is I write down all the positions. Looks like I gotta nominate somebody. Let's see what happens with Shohei. There we go. $48 Shohei. Gonna provide all the stats that you need. This is a head-to-head categories league. So if you don't know what that is, it is we're fighting over 10 different categories, 5 offensive categories and 5 pitching categories. And each week it's going to be you want to get 10, you want to go 10-0, but that rarely happens. You want to win as many categories as possible, so we're going to try not to get too heavy on any particular category. We don't want to be too light on any category, but you can punt. That's one of the strategies that I will implement if it's right. Probably the most important advice I would give is to be fluid and to be prepared, because when you're prepared, you can be fluid and you can change your strategy a lot easier. Know how many positions you have to fill. That's important. And also a tier list of where the drop-offs happen. Let me show you what I mean. We're going to let Bobby go. I don't have any interest in drafting Bobby. I already have Julio and I have Elly De La Cruz. Don't need any more high-end steals, but here's a tiers list that I like to look at. And it kind of shows you where the drop-offs are. So like for catcher, we've got, this is CBS Fantasy. We've got Adley Rutschman in a league of his own. And then it drops off into the next tier and so on. And this is for every position. What's Bobby going for? $45 instead of 60? All right, things are already getting weird. I mean, that's not weird. I wouldn't pay. Everybody here pretty much knows what they're doing, I would say. There are a couple of our friends' kids involved. First timers. Maybe they've played with their parents before, but the kids know a lot. Because dad knows a lot and shares his info. And they like to watch and are involved too. Well, Pete's got a pre-draft value of $36. I might get involved with this. I don't know, maybe not. I'm not going to go very much higher than this. Okay, that was a guy I was targeting. I'm not going to give away too much info, like, while we're on a guy, because I know some of my friends are watching this. I can't give away too much sauce. But Pete was a guy that I wanted. He's on my list. Because so many elite players are gone off the board that in order to seal up some home runs, there's a couple of guys. Like, if I wouldn't have got Pete, then I would have gone after Vlad. Home runs and multi-category killers, multi-category winners, they are not very prevalent. Let me show you another little bit of info that I like to use. So this is Fantasy Pros. It's a dollar value calculator. You can plug in some information. Just curious what Strider's going for. $42. That's a lot of money for a pitcher. I just want to see who he's nominating. Then I'll show you this. Some more of the cheat sheets I use. I've also got a notebook and like 4 pieces of 4 pieces of loose paper in front of me. Corbin Burns, pre-draft value of $35. He's one of the, I mean, if Strider went for 42, I wonder what Corbin Burns is going to go for. I had him on my list as like a $30 to $35 player. I don't know if they're going to be willing to spend more than 35. We're trying to find any kind of value we can right here. He's up to 30. I'm going to put a little Diabetic Mafia. I'm going to go Deadheads. One more. I'll take him for 37, but I'm not going $1 more. There we go. So I just made him pay $2 more than he wanted to. $38 is a lot for a pitcher. I wanted him for 35, but I'm not going anymore. Every once in a while, you gotta make people pay a little bit more than they want to, a little bit more than they're comfortable paying. And I don't know what they were willing to pay for Corbin. I'm imagining it was going to be around $35, which is like his pre-draft ranking. So the fact that we can get him up a little bit more, we got to try to squeeze every dollar out of these people so that we can get find a little value later on in the draft. Mookie had a pre-draft value of $53. He's gonna get up 48 maybe. See, Diabetic Mafia is, oh, he was auto drafting. Looks like he's here now. Up to 48. I don't know that he gets to 50. I think this is like a sweet spot for Mookie right here. Yep. What's up, Jenks? How we doing? Nation Rips. Hey, we got almost 100 people. We got 100 people in here watching. Hat tip to you. Just hanging out. So here's another Freddie. I'd love Freddie, but I already got my first baseman. I locked up some home runs and RBIs with Pete Alonso. Don't need to go fishing for any more first basemen. So let's talk some more resources. Fantasy Pros, good website. I put in the details for my league. We've got 14 teams, $270 budget. I put 70% for hitters. You can change this. You can go 50-50 if you want, but I like to spend a majority of my money on hitters because throughout the season, I can pick up a lot of pitchers off the waivers. And I do, and that's how I build my team. Early on in the year, I'm not going to do very well because I rely on picking up guys off of waivers, and it takes a little bit of time for those things to normalize. I'm not just going to, everybody's not going to be a winner either. But towards the end of the season, I always pick up 1 to 4 pitchers that end up being really good and are like a staple in my team. I'd like to get, there's Vlad. I'd like to get 1 ace, and I'll spend whatever it takes, but 1 ace, and then I also want to get a guy who could be an ace that I'm going to pay less, significantly less for, maybe half as much as an ace, but that could end up turning out to be an ace. And then I'm going to get some relief pitchers, some closers. I'd like to get 3, but I don't know if that's going to happen. Once again, about being flexible. If it comes to be that I don't get any relief pitchers, no closers, I'm okay with it because that means something else happened along the way that I had to take advantage of. Let's go back to this. So we got the auction values established, and I like getting somebody else's opinion on the auction values. But the thing I really like is the highlighting. So Acuna, he's a 4-category contributor in a huge way. Dark green is really good. Light green is still quite good. If it's not highlighted, they're neutral. And then pink and red are not good. Quite bad. Categories that can hurt you, potentially. But we don't want that. So if you'll look at the top here, let's go to, let's make sure we're good. Juan Soto. I'd love to get Soto. Let's see what he goes for. I'm not going to spend a crazy amount because I've got other guys in mind, but I will bump this up a little bit. You're not getting Soto for less than 48. I'll bump it up one more time if I have to. There we go. Darvish wants him bad. He's got a $48 bid on him. Pre-draft value of 48. 49, he might get up to $50. How do you handle rookie prospecting? Since it's a keeper draft, I'm very good at, or I shouldn't say I'm very good at, I think about it a lot. Prospects and rookies, and I will overpay for prospects that I think are elite. And that's how you get good keepers for the next year. But then again, some guys are going to get dropped, and there are going to be plenty of prospects and rookies to keep along the year, throughout the year. Guys are going to come up, and if you're a baseball card collector, you know about these guys more than others do. So I always have an edge right there. So I typically go studs and scrubs as a strategy, overall strategy for these auction drafts. And it works out well. I may change my strategy a little bit this year because as I'm looking down these players, we cannot let Michael Harris go for too little. Like, this is where I could shift my strategy right here. If I get him for $21, I'll take that. There we go. We're only see now people are bumping up again. People started to panic. He's going too far below his pre-draft value. But the thing about Michael Harris is he's drafted awfully low in that order, so his counting stats probably aren't going to be too crazy. Like, they're projecting him to have 19 home runs, 71 RBIs, and 291 batting average, so he'll have a good batting average, but he's not a league winner unless Acuna gets hurt. So you're gambling a little bit, because if Acuna gets hurt and he ends up leading off, then he could be a league winner. So there's a lot of things that we need to take into consideration. So the commish, Top Gunners, what did he do? Oh my gosh, he went really heavy. Tatis, Soto, Strider, and Vlad. He's got 4 super elites, and now he's not going to play for a while. He's going to sit back for a long time and watch what happens. He might even leave the draft. I don't know, but he has no business bidding on anybody for a while. He's only got $90 left, and I like that strategy. Freddie Peralta is an awesome pitcher. He's going to get a lot of traction. Yeah, he's already up $22 pre-draft value. So back to this, one of the reasons why I really wanted to get, let's switch this to straight up hitters and pitchers. So if we go down here, where is Pete? He's down a little ways. Right here. I basically scrolled down to the bottom point where I could find two categories that this person dominates in. And the lowest one was Pete. And the only reason that his value is this low is because his batting average is a little bit low. Well, guess what? I got Ellie De La Cruz. So there's a potential to punt a category here. And I'm probably going to punt batting average. I never really think about batting average that much anyway. I don't think it's that important. There's going to be a couple categories you're not going to win. And I might try to pad it with some later picks, but later in the draft, you're going to have to pay too much for batting average. Meaning that you're basically paying for batting average and nothing else. Or very little else. There are certain guys that don't offer much more than like a decent batting average. And you got to pay for them. Some people just look at the batting average and be like, oh, this guy, he's really good. I tend to value the more difficult counting stats, home runs, RBIs. Runs scored, you can kind of get a little bit later. I'm not so worried about that. I've got Julio for runs scored, and I've got Ellie. I think they'll do fine. Pete's going to score some runs too. They have him projected at 90, but we're just going to keep a lot of things in mind as we move forward. Francisco Alvarez, $8. That's expensive. But right now we got to start thinking, who are we going to nominate? And I've got a list of people that I want to nominate. We're going to find one right here. And put him in our queue. Royce Lewis. Okay. What's Royce Lewis going to go for? I'm not going to let him get away too cheap. There's 2 guys that I had in mind for third baseman. Royce Lewis is one of them. But let's see how much you have to pay for him, because I'm not comfortable paying too much. I'm gonna pop that up a little bit. Diabetic Mafia back on an auto draft. He's only got $60 remaining. Might make him take this one. Oh, here comes Whirling Darvish. Okay. I don't think another one of those tricky guys. Royce Lewis could win you the league, but at what cost? Here we go. We're just going to shoot him out and see what happens. We'll see if we got so we got Diabetic Mafia auto drafting. I wonder what he had him at a pre-draft ranking as. How many people know he's actually hurt? I like to nominate guys that are hurt every once in a while, just to see who did their research. And we have an IL slot, so you can take Garrett Cole. You can slide him on your IL, and when he comes back, if he comes back, I'm not going to let him have him for that cheap. There we go. So people are starting to. How cheap is too cheap? I'm not bidding on him any higher than this. That's for sure. Aces from Spaces probably doesn't know the goods, the details. We'll let him have him for $9. Seems reasonable, but I don't like to spend that much on a guy who's not going to play half the season, a third of the season, and maybe he doesn't play at all. We don't really know. But I don't think that was too out of line, paying $9 for him. Kerry Carpenter, we live in Michigan, so he's going to be one of those guys who's going to be overpaid. You're going to overpay for him probably. I'm going to make someone pay a little bit more for him. Maybe. I might get stuck with him. Nope. Aces from Spaces came in. I know he likes Kerry Carpenter. $7. You can have him for that. I think Kerry Carpenter was maybe like a $1 pre-draft value. Austin Riley's up. He's got a pre-draft value of $39. Gonna see what happens here. We got a handful of elite players left. High bid at $38. Jackpot. That was another guy I targeted. On my list, I'll write a few elite guys that I'm targeting, and a lot of times I'm willing to pay just about anything. I had him at a $40 pre-draft value. I got him for $38. I saved $2. Last year I went the Rafael Devers route. He's gonna give you good stats, but I don't really like the team around him this year. He's batting in a great park, and he's gonna give you. He's so consistent. Devers is throughout the years, but having him on my team last year, I felt like he didn't really win me weeks. Like he just gave me consistent stats, which is good, but I paid a lot for him. Whereas Austin Riley, I feel like he can win you weeks. $40, man. I mean, he's got to go for more than this. I can't bid on him. I already have my third baseman. 33. Someone got a deal. Let's go see if we can't find Devers on this list. So he's got a bunch of light green, which is just what we talked about. Light green, good. Very good at RBIs. Hopefully he gets you over 100 RBIs, but that might be an issue. It shouldn't be that big of an issue if he stays healthy. Luis Castillo, $30, going for $1 more, $2 more. He's one of the elite pitchers. This brings me to another asset that we can utilize. Right here. This is just a Bleacher Report. Every team's ace, and it ranks them from 30 all the way to number 1. This isn't like 100% up to date. It was on March 5th, but it's a good resource because you may be able to find some sneaky value towards the end here with a guy like Paul Blackburn. It's not going to cost you a ton, but he is the best pitcher on the team. So at least you know he's going to get some run. He's their guy. We've got some questionable ones. Josiah. Reed Detmers. Gave you a lot of strikeouts, but struggled. This is a pretty good resource. Let's see what's happening here. Luis Robert. No interest in Luis Robert, especially at $36. No, thank you. Not a very good offense around him. He does have some, their top 4 is pretty good, but it's not a team that's going to win too much. And if he gets hurt, he might get shut down. Does have a history of injuries. Another resource, Fangraphs, probably the best resource to use. Yeah, this is a head-to-head league, head-to-head categories. I mean, it's questionable whether he's going to play at all this year. They're optimistic, but how much do you want to spend? It could be a steal. It could be the best pick of the draft, but there's only one IL slot. Can't afford. So if you start getting guys that get hurt, even minor injuries, your whole season's derailed because you got Cole sitting there on your IL. I don't personally, I don't really want to draft a player that I have to slide into my IL for that. $9 isn't that much, but I'd rather it happen naturally, where like one of the guys I drafted got hurt and I can slide him in, rather than he's hurt right away and I have to use that IL slot. Because if your bench starts filling up with guys on the injured list, nightmare. Especially if it can only be like a couple weeks at a time, or like the 10-day, 7-day, 10-day, 15-day. I don't know what they're at these days. But even if it's something short, like a short stint, that can crush you. Especially those nagging, lingering injuries. You want to be able to use your IL slot. But if it works out and he comes back and he is perfectly fine, he could be a league winner. But you gotta keep your head above water up until then. Gossman dealing with a little thing too, right? I wrote down a bunch of injuries. It's another thing. A lot of the injuries, I mean, it said Cole out 1 to 2 months, but a lot of the injuries, it's like you're just relying on your memory, or you can just do you don't really have time during the draft to quick check, is this guy injured? So to write it down beforehand and have a quick reference point, good strategy. I also go through the player list before we start, and I scroll down and I start looking at what I think is a good value. I noticed there's some guys. My plan was studs and scrubs, or living and dying in the $20 range. Doing a lot of hunting in the $20 range because there are a lot of guys that are all-stars. This is the all-star range. $30, $40, $50 range is the superstar range. In the 20s is the all-star range. When you get below that, we've got some question marks, lots of question marks. Manny is way too cheap right now. I will get in on Manny if I have to, but I already have Austin Riley and Ellie De La Cruz. Yeah, Manny's not going to go for too big of a discount. He's already at $24, so I don't have to fiddle around with that bidding up. I've got $183 left. I'm exactly where I wanted to be. And I can free flow. If I see value, I can pick them up. If I think someone's being underbid, I can bid up and not worry about being stuck with a guy. I had Jordan on my team last year. He is really good, but he's always got that injury risk. Big dude. Fragile knees. We can go back to this and talk about it a little bit. But one thing I noticed is at second base, we've got, an elite first rounder of Mookie. And then we've got a little bit of a step down for Altuve, Albies, and Simeon. And then in the next tier, there's nobody. So typically I don't like to spend a lot of money on my second baseman. So my strategy this year is going to wait until we get really low for second baseman and like a middle infield second base shortstop, because I see a lot of guys down low that I'm willing to draft that I think are perfectly fine. But one strategy might be to focus in on one of these top 4. And if you can't get them, then there's such a big drop here. Like, these names are guys that I don't really want on my team. I don't want to pay for them. I don't want to pay a lot for them, that's for sure. So might as well drop down to this. Like, I'd rather have Luis Arias, I think, just for if I need batting average, which is something we talked about earlier that you don't really want to pay for, but I don't think you really have to. Nolan Gorman. There's a bunch of guys down here. India that I'm interested in. Julian, to name a few. Pablo Lopez. I do need to start thinking about getting my elite pitcher. And I like Pablo. Let's see what happens. Somebody's going to be undervalued, and I'm going to swoop in and grab him. You're not going to get him. There we go. So we're at $24. I'm going to go 25. There we go. I was just maybe making someone pay a little bit more than they wanted. 26 for Pablo Lopez. It's like a top. He's one of the top pitchers. And go back to this. Look at starting pitchers. Where's Pablo Lopez? He's in the also elite tier. But now we're starting to really get thin on elite pitchers. Let's look. All positions, pitchers. We got Wheeler, Gallen, Yamamoto. I don't really trust him. I'm probably not going to draft him. I had Wheeler on my team last year. Matt McClain, there's an injury nomination right there. He's got a pre-draft value of $25. It is outrageous. I don't know if people know that he's hurt, but there's not a lot of info. Left shoulder, question mark. Not a lot of updated information about his injury. So let's see. Do people know? Does he get to $20? Because that's a crazy price. 16 is 16. So a lot of people must have known. But I wouldn't pay that much for him. I had him free last year. I could have kept him for $1. My keepers were ridiculous. I had a lot of choices to make. Lindor, not interested. At this point, I'm looking at my sheet. I had first baseman I wanted to spend $35 on. Third baseman I wanted to spend $40 or get Machado for $25. It was Riley for $40 or Machado for $25. I got Riley for $38. I got Pete. I got my power. Power locked up. RBIs locked up. And I have Julio and Ellie. We got some speed, runs scored, a little bit of pop there too. I'm looking good. So right now I'm thinking about pitching. And I've got a couple guys in mind. I'm kind of upset that I didn't get Corbin Burns because that was one of the guys that I hoped that I'd be able to get a little bit of maybe a bargain on. $24 for, okay, let's move it up, boys. I don't want to have to buy Lindor, but I will if he's going to be super cheap. Yeah, he's already up in the range I'm not really comfortable with, in the 30s. Yeah, Corbin Burns went for 38. He's going to have an awesome year. I really wanted him. O'Neal Cruz, here we go. Jack Attack. This is one of the sleepers on everybody's list. This is a guy I had targeted as a sleeper for the right price. We'll have to see. I'm going to make Jack Attack pay because I think he really wants this fella. So he's going to have to pay for him. Okay. I didn't have to do much work. He's already into the 20s. Nobody's getting a deal on O'Neal Cruz. What tends to happen is relief pitchers and catchers will pile up at the top of the list. Nobody really wants them this early. People like to wait. So I might make an Adley play. Oh, no, someone capped Adley. Who's the next best catcher? What about Walker Buehler? How do people feel about Walker Buehler? Might give him a little nomination. See what happens. Yamamoto with a $25. This was the guy I said I'm not really comfortable drafting, but if people aren't going to pay for him, I will get in on it. Slowly, the bidding's moving up. Henry Davis is on fire. Steel City. I'm going to need your inside info. I'm not spending more than $1 probably on a catcher. So unless I can get Henry Davis for $1. There we go. Come on, boys. He's worth at least 20. Yamamoto up to 20. Will he get to 25? Or is someone going to get a steal? There we go. Now we're talking. 23. I think we might. Yeah, he's going to get up there. Oh, you can't see the bidding going up? My bad. Let me go ahead and nominate. Can you see it now? Should be able to see it. It's right here, too. Right here. Okay, what's going on with Walker Buehler? He's up to $8. He's like getting drafted about the same as Cole. Zach Wheeler, here we go. Elite pitchers. They're disappearing. I don't really feel like paying a ton for Zach Wheeler, but the price is right. I'll get in there. Boxy with a $9.99 super chat. Hello, Striker. I just started watching your content this past month and love what you're doing. Once you get to outfielders, Young-Ho Lee will be a sneaky good pick. Well, thank you for your super chat and your advice. I'll consider it. I kind of see him as more of a batting average asset, which maybe I'll need. I'm gonna go 34 on Wheeler. Just that was his pre-draft value. If someone wants him for more, they can take him. If not, I'll be happy. Someone took him. And you can have him for 35. Because I saw a lot of pitchers that were down quite a ways. So if I don't get any super elite studs at pitching, I'm more than happy to nickel and dime in the $15 range or even a little bit lower. I saw plenty of good pitching down below here. And I've got a few other guys that I'm eyeing too. What do you think Trout goes to? He's at 16. The young guys here, the young bucks, seem to like Trout. I'm going to make him pay. I got him at 20. What do you think that? Oh, yeah, 22. How high will they go? I'm going to make him go a little higher here. Ah, okay. I don't think I'm going to dabble in a $25 Mike Trout, but a $20 one. I had him as one of the guys I was targeting for about $20 if I could get him. 25 still might be a good deal. I've had Trout on my team in the past, and man, when he's on, he's just so money with everything. Batting average, runs, RBIs. The only thing that he doesn't do anymore really is steal an elite amount of bases, and you never know. If he's completely healthy, he might get up, but I haven't seen him stealing too much. I don't think they want him to, trying to keep him healthy. It's not like the team's really competing anyways. Someone nominated Hanser Alberto for some reason. Go ahead. He's all yours. Steel City Colton Cowser equals diamond in the rough right now. Hey, let's look at another one of those resources that we talked about. I just want to see who he's nominating first. Alex Bregman, no interest whatsoever. Okay, let's check it out. Hey, we just happened to be on another resource, Fangraphs, roster resource depth charts. This thing is solid gold. So if you scroll down a little bit, there's news on players. You've got their free agents and what happened to them. Their top prospects over here. And then you scroll down, and this is their projected starting lineup versus righties, which is going to be most of the time. So we're looking at Colton Cowser, and he's not on the projected starting lineup. But one thing I notice about the Orioles is they are super young, the whole team. You know, it's not just like 21, 22, 23-year-olds. A bunch of guys in their prime is what's happening. And this is missing, you know, this is not going to be there every day, but projected against righties. Colton Cowser down here, bench player. But he is an elite prospect. What's happening with Simeon? So Bregman went for 17. $33 pre-draft value. Something tells me, I don't know. We got another thing you can look at is the names. Are a bunch of different people getting in on the bidding, or is it just two guys? 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm seeing a lot of different guys getting in on here. He's already up to $30. Are they going to pay the elite well into the 30s for Simeon? He deserves it. 32. He's currently $1 under pre-draft. There we go. Pre-draft $33. Not a lot of value to be had right here. This is my actual draft for my long-running league Monopoly guy. Suzuki's your favorite sleeper in the outfield. I've dabbled in Suzuki. He's not my guy. Another high batting average guy. I tend to rank lower guys that have a high batting average because I think they get overvalued based on that single metric. And if I'm going to punt two categories, it's going to be batting average and potentially saves. Jesus Luzardo, I'm going to get in on this. Still don't have a ace. 17 on Luzardo. Gonna have to let that go. Where's Luzardo on the list? If you can't find him, there he is. Next best things. Control F, do a little search. Wow, $21. That's a lot. I didn't think he'd get that high, especially with his pre-draft value. Cody Bellinger, $20 pre-draft value. I didn't get Trout, so I'm looking for another $20 outfielder, someone in that $20 range. See what happens. I think people might be a little gun shy on Bellinger, but he did have a really good year last year, and he is multi-position eligible, which can be overvalued in a lot of people's psyches. I'm not really inclined to go after Bellinger. If he were to be had at a bargain, then I'd consider it. But I got to focus a little bit more on my pitching. I still have no pitchers. Chasing Majors, hello. Rangers going to have an off year. 2 pitchers gone for a month. No way Seager, Carter, and Simeon can do it again. Statistics say no. It's not just those guys, though. Hold on. Bellinger's at $25. Whoa. Should be some savings coming. Overpaying like that at some point. And a lot of times the savings come when you get into this range rate. right around here. You get into some names people aren't familiar with. Right down in this range. And I'm going to live in this range. That wasn't my plan pre-draft, but when I started seeing these dollar rankings, I will get involved with Zach Gallen. But at what cost? Diabetic Bobby is auto drafting like to the moon. I really like Gallen. 29 bucks. It's as high as I will go on Gallen. Can have him for 30. As the elite pitchers fade away into oblivion. Chas McCormick on the cheap. Yeah, but I had Chas on my team last year. He bats too low in the lineup. He's not going to give you the counting stats that you would like, unless the price is right. I got to keep qualifying that. So, dude, he's batting 7th in the lineup. I don't want very many, if any, players batting 7th on my team. I want guys batting right here, top 4. Maybe we get into number 5, maybe number 6 if it's a completely stacked team, which this offense is stacked. And he'll have plenty of opportunities, but you want to talk about guys who overperformed a little bit. I think Chas might have. The stolen bases really padded his value last year. Talk a little bit more about it. Let's see what his BABIP was. So his BABIP last year was 331, which is pretty unsustainable. 2021, his BABIP was 341. And in spring already, it's 429. Unsustainable. You will see a drop in batting average, which isn't everything. 366. So Chas is more of like a 250 to 260 type of batter. 273 was inflated. And his stolen bases, he had 19. That was a career high. Is he going to keep getting that many? I don't know. Wow, Randy, way up there. 28 bucks. That's the most Randy has ever gone for that I remember. Oh, man, Logan Webb snuck by for 24. I'm not really a Logan Webb guy anyway. I know he's runner-up for the Cy Young last year, but he increased his strikeouts a little bit last year, but I'm looking for strikeouts. Duran, this dude's, I think he's injured. He's going to have a stint on the DL with an oblique. So I'm not too keen on getting it on him, especially for $20. He's already too expensive. Tucker in the 3-hole is what dreams are made of. Yeah. Yeah, like Klaus, if I could get him for like $1 or $2, then yeah, Chas. So about this point in the draft, we got to start looking at how much money people have left. Diabetic Mafia auto draftings down to $52. He's just got tons of like high-end players because the computer's drafting for him. He's going to have to fill out a bunch of $1 slots. Not worried about him. Top Gunners doesn't have enough money to dabble. Spencer Torkelson is going to go for way more than he should because we're in Michigan. And yeah, he's up to $18. People just say, I don't care what I have to pay. I'll pay any amount for him. 167. So it appears that I am a little on the high side of money left to spend. I like that. I have a lot of options, and there's still a lot of elite players left. There are a lot of good players, very good players left. And I mean, my offense is set. Everything else is just going to be padding certain categories and gravy. Got to figure out a guy to nominate. I think we go. Where do we go? Who do people like that I don't think is worth? Ooh, here we go. Verlander. Perfect. Once again, Michigan, everybody knows Verlander. Everybody's going to be bidding on him because they know the name. Although he is a little old, I'm just thinking this is a guy that will go over his $5 pre-draft and 2.8. He's probably going to go for like $10. Look at Corey Seager going for 30. 32. Everybody loves some Corey Seager. Churio. Yeah. I like it. KC just getting in. I'll show you who I got. I got Pete, Austin Riley, Ellie De La Cruz, and Julio. I'm going to nominate Verlander just to mess with everybody. See what happens. We'll see if they're too smart for that. Pre-draft value of $5. Something tells me they're going to go over. But I love my offense. I got a nasty core right here. And I got tons of money to spend still. There we go. Get in on the Verlander parade. Keep it going. A little bit more? One more dollar? Only a few dollars above. Okay. That's fine. Spend your money. Plenty of opportunities coming up. I like a lot of names. Aaron Nola. $23 pre-draft value. Still need an ace. Nola didn't have the greatest year from an ERA standpoint last year, but the Ks were there. And that's what I'm concerned with. ERA goes up and down, but your strikeout rate tends to be more stable. Already up to 21, 22, 23. We'll go 24. Diabetic Mafia. Jeez, I should have let him have him for that. Houghton's Heroes likes to draft elite pitchers. 25. I'm gonna go one more just to hopefully make him go above me. One more dollar. And if not, I'll take my first elite pitcher. There we go. Got Aaron Nola. And am I happy about it? No. But I saved, I wanted Corbin Burns right there. So I saved $10 that I can spend elsewhere. And I got a few guys in mind. There's always going to be a couple guys you're not super excited about that you just had to get. 24 for Framber seems high. Yeah, it does. He seems more like a $20 pitcher. What is happening here? I got a lot of screens opened. A lot of them. A lot of windows. Kyle Schwarber, not a guy I'm interested in. I still am not exactly in the punting category with batting average. I think I can still compete some weeks with this batting average, so I'm not looking to completely derail it with Kyle Schwarber. I want to leave my options open to pick up a couple of high batting average guys if the opportunity presents itself. So we just got so we still got a guy in the near elite, which is good. Aaron Nola. A lot of these other guys are gone already. Brett Beatty, $2. He had a pre-draft value of 0. So he's free. It's like you want him. Here you go. Framber, 24 bucks. Steel City just talking about him. If there's a deal to be had, I'll be on it. But I don't know. Seems to be no deal. But I will bump him up from there. There we go. Get the action flowing. Sometimes all it takes is one little bump to get a couple more people involved. And now we're up to the $24 value, which does seem a little high. $25. Is he going to get over 200 strikeouts? Whew. Well, where do we find the... Here we go. Yeah, from a K per 9 standpoint, he's right at 9 or 8 to 9. His career, his swinging strikeout rate's pretty good, 11.6. And he's just a good pitcher overall. But I don't know if I buy that amount of strikeouts. Some underlying stats that you can look at. I think he's just going to give you like solid numbers. I don't really mind it. Don't mind the pick. Nolan Jones for 24 bucks while we were away. That's a lot for Nolan Jones. I could have kept him too for $1. That's a lot for Nolan Jones. I'm not in at that price. Whit Merrifield, I don't want anything to do with him. I don't know that he's even going to be an everyday player. Let's get out of here. He's definitely not going to be an everyday player. Where are we? Yeah. Against righties, not going to play. Play against lefties. But for $4. Some value for Barrios. So someone kept Barrios for $1, which was a good deal. I was targeting Barrios because he was going to be really cheap, and I liked it. Oh man, Garcia. Woo. I'm gonna get in on him a little bit. Jack likes him a lot. $25. Ooh, boy. How about, will he go 26 or will he go 27? He did. Okay. I just wanted to see. I wanted to see what Jack's all about. He's all about Garcia. Oh, look at up to 29. Jack's willing to pay any amount of money for Garcia. He's made that very clear. Rosser's twin terror. He sees that, and is he trying to get an additional dollar out of him? I bet not. I bet Jack's dad was like, easy. Don't go anymore on Garcia. You're spending too much. Goldie. We could get a little value here for old man Goldie. I don't know. Let's see. If he's in... I don't have any room for him, so I'm not going to be bidding on him. But he may go under that 22, or maybe not because he's the name. Oh, no. He's going to blow by it. What are we talking about? Like 25, 26 bucks for Goldie then? A little late on that fastball. Age is catching up to him. But man, that roster is stacked. I like the Cardinals offense a lot. Let's look at it. Brennan Donovan, solid player, solid leadoff hitter. This is against righties, but Goldschmidt, Nolan Gorman, Arenado, Contreras, Burleson, and then Jordan Walker, Carlson, and Mason Wynn way down at the bottom. He could have a big year. Mason Wynn with steals if he can keep his batting average high. Let's check out his Fangraphs page. 60 speed, little bit of power. But yeah, dude steals bases and plays good D, which doesn't help you on your fantasy team. Do you like Jordan Walker then? I do, but here's the Jordan Walker's batting pretty low. I don't like that. You know, he's in the 7 hole. I don't like that spot. If he was in the 3 or something, yeah. And maybe against lefties, I don't know that they move Walker up to the 1. I doubt it. Josh Lowe, got no interest. Checking again to see where I'm at relative to everybody else. Dollars. So I got 157 bucks to spend. So more, less, 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 more, less, more, less, more. So people are kind of all over the place. Wow, Josh Lowe for 17. No thanks. Let me pull up. I'll show you something here. Never mind. Oh, here we go. Churrillo. What happens? I'm going to get in on him. If I can have him for $8. Yeah. Not going to happen. I don't know that I want him for 10. I'm gonna bid him up. I don't really want him at this point, but I'll bid him up a little bit. I'll take him for 11, 12. See, there we go. Deadheads. I know deadheads. I know he's into the prospects. One more. Boop. Come on. I don't want him for this, but didn't get Trout, so I got Churrillo instead. It was a bad play. I really just wanted to bid him up another $1. Typically that happens to me several times where I get a guy I didn't really want because I'm like a jerk trying to bid people up. And I knew who I was bidding against and that he likes the Brewers and knows the prospects. But I have a lot of money left still, and I needed to fill another outfield slot. So I got a lot more speed. I don't need to worry about speed now at all, really. Churrillo, Rodriguez, and Ellie. I should be fine. I don't want too much speed, but I want just enough to where I'm going to win it probably every week. What do we think about Grayson Rodriguez, everybody? People seem to like the pitchers. I will get in on him. Let's go. Not going to get it done. Come on. Come on, boys. Are you serious or are you not? Okay, I'm not going any farther than this. He's already in the 20s. Plenty high. I did my job. You got your keeper draft in 22 hours, 1 cent? 22-year-old league. I don't even know how old this league is. It's got to be 20. It's got to be 20 years old. People come and go, but no, Trio's not a bad pick, but I like to get those prospect types, which I don't know. He's one of the best prospects, if not the best, but I like to get them for under $10 typically. That way, if they end up being awesome, they're a sweet keeper. I'll be able to keep Ellie next year for $11, but Julio's going to be 21, which is still a good deal. If I were to be able to keep, like if Trio ends up being awesome, first round talent, it's going to be a great pick. I'll be able to keep Ellie and Trio, and I like to have this choice. I don't want anybody to be able to draft these guys for too cheap of a price just for keeper purposes. I want them to have to pay a little bit more. Will Smith, second best catcher. and he went for $20. He's not going to get the DH gig this year as much as he did in the past. So I don't know if he's going to get as much PT, which means his stats will probably go down, but he's batting in a prime spot for RBIs. He's a great player, great offensive player. I've always wanted Will Smith on my team, but I just can't justify spending $20 on a catcher. And Castellanos, another former Tiger that everybody knows, is going to get bid up. Yeah, so my backup plan, I've got a couple of guys in mind. Chirrillo was not one of them, just because I thought he'd be too expensive. I thought he'd get too expensive. I would have rather paid. I would rather have paid like $9 for him. Vlad makes you nervous. I'm good with Vlad. I don't have him, but I would have no problem with him. There's only so many guys that can get you 40 bombs. He's one of them. And if you don't have any guys that can get you 40 on your team, probably going to be lacking home runs, RBIs. And it's not easy to find those on the waivers because guys just don't pop up that get thrown into the 3-hole, 4-hole. I like guys that bat third better though, because they're gonna have more times where they get 5 ABs. Ketel Marte, no interest in him. Like I said, second baseman, not going to spend on second baseman or catchers. Yanier Diaz could be close to Will Smith. Yeah, he could be. Will Smith's proved it for longer, though. Diaz, I don't fully trust. I know he had a good year last year, a very good year, but I don't fully trust him. Whereas Will Smith, I fully trust. William Contreras, I like William Contreras. Man, I wish I could get him for a deal. Let's see what happens, because he's like a top 3, 4. He's a top 3 catcher. Nah. No. So you're not going to get him for a deal. Like if I could have got him for like $8, I would have broke my rule not paying for catchers. But there's like, this is a 14-team league, and there's at least 14 catchers that are like, after you get out of the top tier, top like 4 catchers, they're all about the same. Alvarez, he already got drafted in this league. He got drafted pretty early. Someone nominated him pretty early. I think he went for like $8. Yeah, he went for $8. So that's fair. Glaber, another second baseman, no interest. Let's look at some more resources. So where are we at on this list? Just so I can share with you in terms of like, okay, where's all the bright green? Well, it ended quite a while ago. Now we've got guys with single category greens, bright greens. CJ Abrams, he got kept. Nico. I'm not a Nico guy. Xander, like we're down here already, and there's not a lot of green to be seen. So I'm glad I spent some money on offense. Arenado, $19 pre-draft value. So working this way, I could always grab a guy like this if he's going for too low. But Diabetic Mafia is auto drafting, so his computer is not going to let it get too. It's not going to. Yeah, look at, we're already at 16, 17, 18, $18. It's a fair price, $1 above. I think he's going to get him for that price. People are starting to pinch pennies a little bit more now, because Arenado's a guy who could have gone for more just based on his name. If people had more money to spend. Some people do. How many guys in the 100 still? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Still 11 out of 14 guys have over $100 to spend. Logan Gilbert's awesome. I'd love to have him. We'll see what happens here. Don't really want to pay that much. I've got $143 left. I mean, I'll throw a 21 on it. Maybe I can get him for cost. Pre-draft value? No. Another thing I want to do a little differently this year than last year is to try to hold on to a little bit more money for the end game, because there were a lot of guys last year that if I just had one more dollar, I could have got. So I'm going to try to keep like an extra $10 on hand so I can, instead of only having $1 to spend on guys, I can bump it up an additional $1. That may or may not happen. Josh Hader, $21. My plan is to get 3 elite closers, or maybe not elite, but like 3 good closers. Thank God, because I didn't want Hader for $20. I'm looking to spend $27 total for 3 good closers. The last couple of years that hasn't happened because I haven't had enough money. Spent too much money on offense. And I'm not really looking to spend a ton more on offense at this point. Maybe another outfielder. I got my eyes on a couple of outfielders, and I'm willing to spend up on them. But then that's it. Not going to spend much more. I'm going to wait till the end game for the rest of my offense. Keep an eye on pitchers. See what happens here. This is an elite closer. And they're going to have to pay for him. I'm not going to let them go too low. I'm not paying any more for him. You can have him for 17. There you go. Should snag Gavin Williams for $1. I don't think he's going to be $1. He might be $1 on this list, but yeah, we can look at the pitchers' values right after this. Yuri Perez. There's like a lot of mispriced guys down here, and they're not going to go for the price that you see on the left here. Yeah, Gavin Williams, he has an elbow, but he had a clean MRI. I'm not interested in drafting any pitcher that's got elbow issues. Yuri Perez has got problems. I'm not drafting him. Elbow inflammation, no surgery needed. Not looking to get too crazy. And so that was great right there. Yuri Perez went to Diabetic Mafia, so his money is dwindling. He's not going to have as much money to bump a lot of guys up. So we may start seeing a little bit of value come through, since he can't auto bump players. Let's get off of this. Jack Swinsky, no interest there. Andres Munoz is underrated. Jack Swinsky for $1. If he was $1, yeah, but $5, nah. Yeah, Munoz and Fairbanks. I think Munoz was a guy on my list, actually. I'd take Fairbanks too, but it just depends on the price. Like I said, I'm looking to... Okay, here we go. Jackson Holiday. Let's pay attention to what's happening here, because we may need to get involved. $9. I can't do it. Can't do it. Okay, what's going on? Let's see what happens with Edwin Diaz. Just going to nominate the next top guy. He's elite. People are going to have to spend on him, because I'll take him if they don't. I don't want to spend. I hate spending $20 on a reliever, and I'm not going to. But if for some reason he doesn't get to if he doesn't get to 20, maybe we can talk. I'm just going to throw out a little bid there just to let him know I'm involved. I'm not going to let him slip through the cracks. 15, 16. I'm hoping he gets to 20. Yeah, he's going to get to 20. Or 18. We're already there. 19, 20. I'm good with that. Holiday. I with him not starting the season, I can't spend $9 on a bench slot. That's there's just your team suffers. We already talked about it a little bit with the IL slot. Yeah, some of them are Steel City. That's why I got to be careful. Can't give up too much too soon. Class A, another elite, $20. He's got to get to that point, or else I'm gonna take him. Throw in a little bid here. Get involved. Royce Lewis for RBIs. Yeah, too late for Royce. He's already gone, but he was a guy I was thinking about. He went for quite a bit. I think he went for like $25. 16 for Class A, too cheap. I'm in for 17. And I'll take him for 17. All right, so out of my $27 that I had allocated for closers, we just spent a lot of it. So now I'm going to have to either go with just two $5 closers, and they're not going to be great. But I'm happy that I at least locked up some saves and strikeouts and numbers, like good ERA, good whip. Let's see where he's at for relief pitchers. Near elite. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 near elite closers. I snagged one of them. I'd be fine getting two guys down in this range right here, fallback options. That's probably what I'm going to chase after this. Encarnacion Strand is definitely a guy that I would be in on if he was cheaper. But for $12, a little too much. If he was down at 5, which is where his pre-draft ranking was, definitely would have been in 5, 6, 7, $8 even maybe. But at 12, a little too rich. And plus, I don't need that slot. I got first and third covered. So I'm not spending on catcher, not spending on second, not spending on second short or first third unless a deal falls to me. I'm not interested in the batting average that Yandy Diaz provides. He's only at $8. I mean, I'll spend a little more than that. He's got to get up to his pre-draft value. If I see, this is one of those picks. Opportunity presents itself, maybe you jump. He's a $10 player, 10, 12. I'm not going to spend more than 10 because I would have regretted it if I would have got him. But if no one's going to bid him up, that's a good pick. Yandy Diaz for $11. He's batting in the heart of the order. Let's see, third. And Tampa Bay had one of the best offenses last year. They have him leading off, which is outrageous. 33-year-old first baseman leading off. I mean, we get real questionable when we get right here, though. 6, 7, 8, 9. Yikes. But somehow they always seem to make it work. I like this. I like the top 5 a lot. But after that, whoa. Here's Suzuki, already up to 15. No way. 16? No way. You're paying for batting average again. And just a little bit of home run. He'll do a little bit. And he does have good games, but he's kind of streaky, kind of injury prone. I'm just out at $17 for sure. He's a guy that I wouldn't probably spend more than $5 on. Likes and dislikes, some people get like that kind of player. Some people don't. I'm more of a Tristan Casas guy. This is a guy I want. Huge home run upside. Batting in a great park for hitting. That's my kind of guy. like, he's probably going to get bid up to the point where I can't afford him, and I don't have a spot for him either. I would, I got an open first, third if I want to go there. I could use a little bit more power. Can always use more power. But I'm at the point, $126. I'm doing okay. I'm not worried about anything right now. And it's a great spot to be in, where you can be in on everybody. Romano, like, I'm not going to let him go. I mean, we got to go. There we go. Okay. I didn't really want to spend that much on Romano, but 13, I mean, that still might be too cheap. I don't want to spend my whole bankroll on relief pitchers, but that was too cheap. We might be at a point where relief pitchers are going to be a bargain. Got to keep our eyes on that. Because I definitely don't want to spend too much more money on relievers, and that would have taken me to my threshold of the total amount I wanted to spend on closers. Now that I've invested in elite closer, I need to think about capturing that category, because if I only get one closer now, it's a complete waste. And that's happened to me in the past, where I've bought an elite closer hoping to get a couple of deals later, like $5 like a couple of $5 closers that still will give me some saves, and it just didn't work out, and I ended up with only 2 closers, and I couldn't find any more on the waivers throughout the year. So I don't want to be trapped in that situation. Romano's injured. Yeah, I didn't write him on my sheet. I think I remember now that I was not in on him. How long is he hurt for? It doesn't matter. Not getting him. Rhys Hoskins. Now for the Brewers. And he's got a pre-draft value of $2. They're going to have to pay for him. It's like Short Strokes likes him for 9. You're going to have to pay more. He's going to have a big year. 11. I think at this point, I am out. He was a guy I was targeting. I like Rhys this year. One cent says striker get Leclerc. He's Texas's closer right now in Kimbrel. Yeah, that's the range that I'm looking for. Let's see what happens with Glass now. I still need a lot of starters. I've only got one starter. I don't like Glasnow's injury history and the fact that he never pitches a lot of innings, but he's going to get tons of wins. He's pitching in a pitcher's ballpark. He's already up to pre-draft. I'll spend 20. I couldn't even get in on that. Yeah, he's going way high. Let's go back and check out some pitchers. Where's Leclerc on here? It's way down. It's $1. I'll keep him on the radar. There's going to come a time, which is not in the real near future, because all of these guys are definitely contributors. We've got a lot of contributors still on the board. Jazz, $10. Jimenez, Ozuna, Josh Naylor, Bybee, Musgrove. We've got a lot of contributors still. So I'm not worried. I just don't want to have too much money. That's my one worry. Getting too low here, running out of names, and not having enough money. But as you can see, we still have like all-star level players well down the list. Christian Walker. Whoa, $25 for Christian Walker. Not for me. Thanks for the sub track. Eflin, yeah, I'm not targeting him. I know all about Eflin. He had a brief stint on my team last year. I like him. I just think he's going to be too expensive. I'm not willing to pay that much for him. Like if he was cheaper, I would. And there are some guys that I'm not going to tell you right now that are coming up somewhere on this list that I'm targeting. And I'm willing to spend the money on them. Eflin, not my guy. I know he's a sleeper. I know a lot of like the talking heads have talked him up quite a bit. But that's like at the he's at 13. Like it doesn't seem like much, but the difference from $13 to $16 seems it is kind of a lot. Because I don't know that he goes for 16. If it's 16, maybe he gets up to like 18. Whereas I'd be comfortable drafting him at like $6 to $8. We got Ruiz here, steals category winner, but I've got plenty of those, and he's going for whoa. He's already up to $10. No way. Let's look at that Oakland roster. They got him penciled in the 8 hole. It doesn't sound very appealing to me. I would much rather have this guy. It's going to happen with Jazz. Does anybody trust Jazz, or is he just Mr. Injury Prone? I'm all right with Jazz, but I don't know if I want to spend that much. Jack wants him. Ooh, Whirling Darvish is in at 15, so he's already 50% over, 60% over, 70% over, 80% over his pre-draft value. Can't do it. He's got upside. But how much upside? I guess if he plays every single game, which he's never done, he's got like probably second round upside. But at $18, we're talking like just a risk. Yeah, I bid on him 1 cent. I like him. But not at $18. I don't got that kind of money. Real Muto. 18 for Real Muto. Not a chance. But he's got to go. Like, I got my eye on it because he's too cheap. Way too cheap now. I mean, I'll bump him up more than that. He's got pre-draft value of $18. He's got to go. He's got a ways to go. Yeah, there we go. Now we're getting up there a little bit. $14. There you go. But he's another guy who's, we're talking about a guy who has in the past, he's going to help you in the batting average category. And he plays a lot. Batting 4th in a wicked loaded lineup. We got to nominate somebody. Who's it going to be? Let's see how much people like George Springer. That's a name that everybody knows. Pre-draft value of $12. Heck, I'll snag him. A lot of and you got to switch up your strategy. Sometimes nominate guys you absolutely don't want, and then sometimes you can nominate guys that you do want, just so they keep them off your trail. We're up to $12, $13. We're already over pre-draft. 14. The plan coming together. 14's a fair bargain for him, I suppose. $14. I like that. Springer used to be like a perennial $20 to $30 player. He's just fallen off. He's lost a little bit over the years, but he's still leading off for a high-powered offense. Sung Kim, no thanks. See how he's got multiple eligibility? Second base, third base, shortstop. People are going to see that, and they're going to bid more than they should for him, probably, just based on that. My brother-in-law especially. He loves those guys. Let's see if he gets involved. Let's see if Whirling Darvish. Oh, he spent all his money. He's not getting involved. So we got a lot of different positions. Starting pitcher, 3 starting pitchers in a row. Chris Sale, he's got a $1 pre-draft value. I'm interested to see what happens here. I need some pitchers. I might dabble in Sale. $6. Bit of a risk, but he's definitely got upside to win you a league if he plays. But man, he's going to have games where he gets absolutely lit up. That I can guarantee. In that ballpark, middle of summer, lefty, ooh, he's gonna have some of those games. But then he's also gonna have games where he looks like Cy Young. He's kind of like Blake Snell. Got to pay up to 50. He went for 11. I wouldn't have been mad if I got him for 11, probably. But there's something about that, like the mindset of a double-digit player that costs you more than $10. It's like, oh, man, he better be good. Sale's got a lot of question marks. 1 cent says he's going to pitch less than 100 innings. Well, then I'm out. Got to the party late, Andrew. Welcome. Oh, good. I'm glad you like it. Well, I've got a plan in place for a few guys coming up. I'm glad I have a bunch of money to spend. So as of this point, there are only 2 guys that have more money than me. So a lot of my guys are coming up, and I'm going to have to pay for them. So I'm not going to have any money soon. Hold on. Get ready. Just look at some of these names down here too. There's a lot of very serviceable players. $17 for Dansby. What else we got? Teoscar coming up. There's a few good offensive players. Jimenez. Dylan Cease will kill your whip. Andres Jimenez I drafted last year. Didn't do anything for me. That was a pick I regretted. It's like I said, I usually don't draft guys like that. Second baseman, but I thought he could be like a 20-25 guy, 20-30 guy. I get real quiet because this is one of the guys that I absolutely wanted to target. Okay. Whew. I wanted to get him for like 18. I had to pay 22. That's why I was saving some money, because I knew he was going to go for a lot. Got $100 left to spend. I've got 2 good pitchers. I think Cease going to the Padres is like a dream scenario for him. He's moving to a pitcher's park with a good defense behind him, a team that wants to compete. Guy who gets unlimited strikeouts. Unlimited strikeouts are going to fizzle away at this point. How many guys can get you 200 Ks? Let's sort by strikeouts and look. Hunter Green, Mitch Keller. There's a couple of question marks on both of these guys. Joe Ryan, allegedly. Blake Snell, no. He's not going to pitch enough games, I don't think. But there's really nobody. Maybe Hunter Green. And Evan Phillips is a guy that I wanted. He went for $11. Oh, yeah, I wanted him. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 5 closers that I've got on my target list right now. How are we doing on outfielders? Only have 2. I'd like to get another elite outfielder, and I do like Nimmo. I'm gonna bump that up $1, see what happens. Hopefully it starts to cascade, which it did, and now people are overpaying for him. But I do like Nimmo, man. He's gonna score a lot of runs, assuming he stays healthy all year, of course. But he provides you with a lot. He's also a guy who can just get you a leadoff home run, which is so awesome to have on your fantasy team. A guy that's going to score a lot of runs and can get a home run. Here's Eflin. Let's see what happens. If he's a decent deal, I'm willing to invest. He's a good deal right now. So you remember I said like $8. I've already invested a lot into my elite pitching. So we're going to have to take a big step back here and try to not spend a ton of money on any pitching from here on out. Oh, there we go. That's weird. Eflin, $15. I think that's too much. Because it's like Eflin for 15, Cease for 22. Gonna get way more Ks, and I don't know. They always have a leash in Tampa Bay on their pitching. So is he gonna get? We don't have quality starts as a category, but how many opportunities for wins is he actually gonna get? Those Tampa Bay starters. You know they like to play games. Bobby Miller. Elite. It's going to get a lot of wins, probably. Big potential. I'm going to throw a little bet on here. A bet. It's kind of like a bet. 16. Oh. I can't go any higher. There's still plenty of guys. What do we have left? Where do we go to find out how much? Budgets? Maximum offer. 87 is my maximum offer. Okay. Just looking at everybody else's. Diabetic Mafia's out. Whirling Darvish, pretty much out. These guys quite low. Owen, Jack. Those guys are low. Tornado, pretty low. Both of these a little bit low. I like where I'm at. I like how much money I have to spend. I don't want to have a lot of money at this point. I want to have spent on elite players. As many as I can get, and then still have enough to play around here once we get a little bit to this point and a little bit lower. Jose Alvarado. This wasn't a guy that I was targeting. Is he even a closer? He only had a $1 value. I almost feel like bidding them up just because that's how you get in trouble. When something seems suspicious. Where's Alvarado? Ooh, he's a fallback option. I'll take Casas. Let's go all the way up to $8. See what happens here. People getting serious. 11. He's got to get up to 12. I don't really want to pay any more for him. Yeah. He's up into the mid. If he gets to $15, 14's fine, but it's still a little too expensive in my opinion. There we go, $15. Now he's like into the mid range. It was like George Springer for 14 or Tristan Casas for 15. I like Casas. Could have kept him. Could have kept him for $1. Another one of those guys. Probably get Senga on the cheap. I'm not interested in Senga. I don't want to draft guys that are hurt. He's 6 weeks out. Teoscar splitting time. Plus he's batting 6th, I think, which is, we talked about that a little bit, but I don't want to have to pay the amount of money I'm going to have to for a guy batting 6th. Even though it's prolific, he's in a prolific spot, but Alexis Diaz, $14 pre-draft value. He's not on my list. I got to spend less on a closer. And I need outfielders. I'll nominate Brian Reynolds. Maybe I can get Brian Reynolds for a decent price. He's like a good all-around player. Who knows? I'm going to just bump him up to $10. Boom. Let's get serious, boys. You want to spend more than 10 for Brian Reynolds? Do you want to spend 15? I don't. I had him on my team last year. He just doesn't do enough of anything in particular. He's solid. He's another one of those guys that are just solid across the board. Not going to hurt you. Give you a little bit of multiple categories. But he just went for $20, and there is no way. There's no way I'm spending $20 on a guy like that. Joe Ryan. He's on a lot of guys' busts lists this year. Don't draft Joe Ryan. I've spent a lot on pitching. So, what are we doing here? See who wants him. I think Joe Ryan, I think he's more like a $20 player. I can get him for 13. I'll be super stoked. Let me have him. I like that a lot. His pre-draft value is pretty low. But like I said, I think he's closer to like a $20 player. I just think that's a great deal for a stud. I don't know. He is on a lot of bust lists. That's fine. I don't care. But look, they call it the glob. He's in the start of the glob, which means he's kind of all over the place with some good games, some bad games. But I will take him. Was Charlie Morton at 0? There's going to be a lot of guys down here that are at 0. We start getting into zeros at Jordan Montgomery, Robert Suarez, Braxton Garrett, Shota, Rodon, Yu Darvish. See, like Charlie Morton. There's a lot of guys that are at 0. They won't go for 0. We have a deep league. We have 14 teams in this league, and we have deep. everything. Like, look at all the spots we got to fill. Look at all this. I got a lot of spots to fill still. All my guys up until this point have been like elite picks. So there's going to come a time pretty soon where I got to bail on anybody elite. Like Teoscar, 20. Look at $21. We just talked about him. Way too high. They're projecting him to get basically 100 RBIs and 32 home runs. If he gets that, then yeah, he's a $20 player. 30 plus home runs, 100 RBIs, get you, 260 is maybe a little high, but I don't think he gets you that. I don't think he hits 30 if he's splitting time. If he's starting every day and gets you 500 ABs, then yeah, but I think he's more like 400 ABs, and I don't know that he gets 32 home runs and 100 RBIs. Lane Thomas, he's a guy I like and that a lot of people don't like. So I'm interested. Got to play a little bit of game theory. Go after the people. I can't spend that much on him, though. I was thinking maybe if he was really cheap, but I can't spend this much on him. I already have, at this point, we're talking about, let's figure some things out here. So we're at $5 per slot right now that I have left to spend. But I've allocated a whole bunch of money, a whole bunch of slots for $1 players. So it's actually more. I actually have more money than I'm per spot than it would seem. And I wanted Evan Carter, but for $15, 16, nope. 17, I can't do it for 17. 18, look at Evan Carter. Hype players, maybe a quote-unquote sleeper, Evan Carter. I love him, and I wanted him, but I wanted him for like his pre-draft value. On my cheat sheet, I had Evan Carter at $15. If I could have got him for 15, I would have taken him. You got to draw the line somewhere, and my line was $15. And since I couldn't have him, we got to pivot again. Luis Arias will get you batting average. What's he going to go for? If he's reasonable, he's already kind of past reasonable. Is he going to get to 10? He's probably going to get to 10, $12 maybe. I don't know. He's at 9. There's 10. And for a one category guy, I don't know. Like we're at that point where what are you going to spend your money on? $12, twice the amount spent on Luis Arias than his pre-draft value. What do you guys think about that? Yeah, Charlie Morton was at 0. No way Teoscar gets that while splitting time. No. There are still a lot of guys that I'm A-OK targeting. Charlie Morton. How old is Charlie Morton? He's got to be like 40 now, right? Yeah, he's 40 years old. Not super excited about having a 40-year-old pitcher that I got to pay more than a couple of bucks for. $6. It's reasonable. It's not going to like kill you no matter what happens, unless he's super crazy good. His last hurrah. Spencer Steer. He's a good player. He's multi-position eligible. Like every guy from here on out, got to think about. And that multi-position eligibility right there, there's a lot of people that are drafting that need to fill multiple spots. So they're thinking like, wow, this really gives me some flexibility. Look, he's up to $15. Can't do it. So some other things that you can think about. So before your draft, look at your keepers. Just see all the keepers that are kept and who's going to be available. Some of the guys you wanted to draft are probably going to be gone if you have keepers. Look at the tiers. We already talked about that. Positional vulnerabilities. Where are these gaps in the tiers? How can you exploit that? Are you going to exploit it by nominating the super expensive guys because other people know? Or are you going to exploit it by grabbing one of those guys yourself? Or are you just going to wait till quite a ways down? Potential punts. What categories can you punt? Like I talked about, batting average, saves. You want to look at sleepers and busts just to get an idea, even if you don't agree with the industry touts of who's a sleeper and who's a bust. At least you know where other people's heads are at. So there could be value there. If everybody thinks a guy's a bust, they're not going to bid as high as they should go for. You might be able to get a deal on them. Injuries, who's injured, you got to, at least look at it. Some of the main guys that are injured, write it down if you have time. Go through the top 300 players and familiarize yourself with the players. If you don't recognize a guy, you don't know what kind of stats he put up the year before or what he's projected, just click on their name. Just get yourself familiarized with some of the players, especially lower down. You're going to know the top guys. Relief pitchers and closers, at least have an idea or have the cheat sheet pulled up like so. There's all kinds of different resources. Know the other players' tendencies in your league, who they're likely to spend money on. You can make them spend a little more than they want to. Make a cheat sheet of your own guys, of your own categories and your own positions that need to be filled, and how much you're willing to spend on each position and what positions you're willing to punt and only spend $1 on. Then you can so right now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 positions of my remaining ones that are right here that I'm willing to spend $1 on. So that really changes the whole dollar per position available, dollar per spot. During the draft, keep tabs on who has closers already, different auction values, news. You can pull up a few different sources are Roto World, Fangraphs, Baseball Savant, Baseball Reference. And then this page is really handy with the starting lineups. Ozuna, I got no interest. Although look at what it's got him projected at 35 home runs. I don't know about that. Could he? Yeah. 40. Last year, 40 and 100. I don't know. I think that seems awfully high as a projection. Well, no, the RBIs aren't high. The home runs, though, 35. Whew. At this late in the draft, a guy projected that high. He should go for 12-ish bucks. Now we got to really start thinking. What do we really need to fill? I like where my pitching's at a lot. I don't need to spend very much more money on pitching, other than a couple of closers maybe. Seawald's got an $11 pre-draft value. Right now is where we start hopefully finding some value. How much do people really want to spend on Paul Seawald? He's up to $6. 7. I'll throw 8 on it. He's up to 9. $10. See, I would have gone 10. We're at 11. Let's check out the closers. Seawald is one of the last remaining elite guys. And he's going for a lot. Oh, let's go with old Cedric Mullins. Another guy on people's bust lists this year, Cedric. I'm not interested in him. But what I'm interested in is figuring out who remains. Do we have any near elite closers left? Clase, Duvall, Iglesias, Diaz, Seawald? No, I don't think so. I see several guys I'm interested in still, though. So there's no need to blow the bank on another relief pitcher. And I still got a lot of outfielders I gotta fill. So I'm not going to be too concerned with any pitching right now. Let's look at outfielders. Yikes. Yikes. What do you guys think? Help me out. What do you like? I don't like, don't like, don't like, don't like. Maybe. No. Not super excited. Don't want to spend that much for him. No. What did Cedric went for 11? Maybe. I'm looking right here. I'm looking right here, maybe. Absolutely. Maybe. 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 Let's dive into this real quick. We're gonna go. Oh, I don't like to see that. He went 342. 342, 14 for 41. 4 homers and 3 steals. Struck out only 12 times. What are they waiting for? Why would they send him back down, you know? That's just frustrating. Chance to win Rookie of the Year, give him some compensatory picks. Nah. We need to save every penny. It's got to be frustrating to be a Nationals fan. Steven, yeah. That's the question, isn't it, Michael? Yeah, there's bench. We've got 4 bench slots. I usually fill them full of pitchers. So I've got a good amount of money. I can do almost anything I want at this point. I like the flexibility. We're just getting... It's getting a little shaky on some things. Need another one of these. Oops. Another one of these. Only one. Because I don't mind having $2 outfielders. I'll be able to find one throughout the year, no problem. And then we need like a couple of these. And then every other player is going to be $1. So... We're into the next best thing part right here. So we'll see where the value is, if at all. I'll take that. We got 2 closers. 2 good closers. 1 elite, 1 good. Okay, one more thing that I don't got to worry about as much. I still would like one more. How will Jordan Walker do? He'll do fine, but he's not in a great position in the lineup. Nat's waiting to bring up Wood, Cruz, and House at the same time. Maybe. I don't know that it's a great idea to like do it all at once. Get a guy's feet wet, get him comfortable, then bring up the next guy and he can help mentor the guy that just came up and tell him what he went through. That might be better. How does pricing work throughout the season getting free agents? It's free. You can just go pick up whoever you want. Unless someone waives a guy, then it has to go through the waiver process. And then there's whatever place you are, it's a reverse order of your position ranking. So if you're in first place, you get last dibs on a waiver guy. But if they don't have to go through a waiver process other than that. So I could just go at any time and grab anybody off the waivers, which is why I do studs and scrubs. Usually, or a form of it. I got 2 studs early in Pete Alonso and Austin Riley. And I got Aaron Nola, a stud pitcher. I think Joe Ryan's a stud pitcher. He's only 13. And then Cease, potential Cy Young, couple of potential Cy Young guys. Offense is a little light right now. I need some help on offense. My pitching I've already spent a lot on pitching, more than I usually do at this point. So I got to get some offensive players. We just got to, let's go to batters and also one more closer. And I've got like 5 guys on my list of potential closers. But the problem is through 2 closers, I've already spent my budget that I wanted to spend. I got like $1 left to spend. But I like to leave a lot of slots open for $1 players on pitching because I'm going to waive and pick up at least, 5 guys at least, if not more. The more slots I have available, the better. And I'm going to get in on Musgrove if no one else wants to. I don't want to spend any more on pitching, but if I can have Musgrove for $7, please. And thank you. And here comes the bet. I almost got him for $7, you guys. Ooh, that would have... I don't want him for 10 though. Like, I don't want to spend any more on pitching. But I might have to. And I've got enough money where I can do that and it won't kill me. I'll still have enough for a couple of offensive players. And I see a couple guys right now on the list that I've eyeballed, that I've been thinking about drafting. I don't want Salvador Perez. I don't want to spend money on a catcher. We've already talked about that. It's strange that Jackson Merrill is shortstop eligible. So he's going to gain outfield eligibility. So he'll be outfield shortstop eligible. That's going to be really nice. I don't know how many people know that or know of him in this league very well. The problem with Jackson Merrill is he's batting 9th in the preseason. I don't like that. But the top of the order is probably going to score some runs if he can get on base. Like, his projections are ultra low. Look at how low those projections are. He's going to blow those out of the water. Still got Chas McCormick. We got some upside potential here with Ezequiel Tovar in Colorado. Nolan Gorman, $3 pre-draft value. Low batting average. Let's see what happens here. People get too crazy. I'm going to get involved. Worst case scenario, someone's going to have to pay for Gorman. He's at 7. I got a lot of money to spend. I'll go 8. If anybody goes higher than 8, not going to go over that probably, but this was a guy I had on my this was a guy I was targeting. Like I said, I don't like to spend on second baseman, but I had Gorman on my list. If I am going to spend, it's going to be him. I'll show you why. This is why. He's batting 3rd in between Paul Goldschmidt and Nolan Arenado. I mean, and he's young, former number 1 overall pick. Just hope he stays healthy. And you like Gorman or Geloff more? So I like I like a lot of second basemen down this low and below. I like Geloff, but he's got a stinky team around him. And he's playing in a stinky park. Stinky team, stinky park, but he's a good player. So he's going to be cheap, but I like him just fine. I'd be fine if he was my starting second baseman. Another guy I like is Julian. I'd be fine with him. They're going to be a little bit cheaper than Gorman. Gorman was going to be like at the upper echelon of what I'm willing to spend for a second baseman. But I'm glad I got him because he's got a lot of upside, and he's another guy who can get home runs. So I got a little bit more pop in my lineup now, which is huge because Chiriot gave me more steals, and Gorman's going to give me a little bit more pop. Yoshida, no interest. He's got a lot of power, and he's got a little bit of speed. What do the Zips project him at, or what's Steamer? Steamer's a good one. I like to use Steamer. They've got him projected at 28 home runs. I mean, this late in the draft to find 28 home runs is pretty crazy. So where do we go here? We got to nominate a guy, and we got to do it quick. Let's nominate Geloff. See what happens. Does anybody know who this is even? About to find out. I've got a second base shortstop slot available, and I will snag this dude. I will. Not now. Not now. All right, good. People are paying for him. So $8. I paid $8 for Gorman. I'd rather have Gorman 10 times out of 10. So that's perfect, and that's why I did that. I nominated another second baseman because I got my second baseman. But if it came down to it where he was going to be super cheap, I could still snag him. Not super cheap, a little bit overpaid. He's like $1 player, $1 to $3. Yeah, if anything I get from a stolen base standpoint out of Gorman is going to be gravy. I got him because I'm looking for pop. And he's just look where he is in that order. He's going to have RBI opportunities, and he's going to have runs scored, just counting stats all over the place. If it doesn't work out, I only spent $8. Now here's your Yanir Diaz. He is one of the better catchers, and people are paying for him. He's over twice his pre-draft value right now, going for $9. That's the peak. Yeah, $9. Jorge Polanco for $1. I'm not looking to spend any more on. I've got some guys in mind. I've got a guy in mind for my middle infield that I really want, and I'm gonna spend on him. Colt Keith. I can't imagine that he's gonna. I mean, this is a Tiger. People are gonna probably get in on Colt Keith. I'm gonna get in on him. Let's go. You only want to spend $5 on Colt Keith? It's going to be our best player. One of our best players. There we go. Kevin sees me getting in, and he's like, oh, Striker thinks this guy's good. I'll bump him up. $7. That's more like it. I'm not spending that much on Colt Keith. Any ideas in the chat? What are we thinking? Let's look at outfield again. Stephen Kwan, not interested, but let's look. What's he provide? It depends. Like, he's a $6. If I could get him for a couple bucks, I might. But, 4 home runs. I hate that. He's already at 3. I'm going to make Owen pay an extra $1. There we go. Okay. It's all about extracting as much money out of your friends as possible. And I don't want him, so he can have him for $5. I'm glad I didn't get stuck with him, but I wouldn't have been super pissed to get Stephen Kwan for $4. Tom, what up? Thanks for the sub, man. Love Duran. Okay. Oh, how about Kimbrel? He's already, yeah. He's a name people know on a good team that's going to win a lot of games. I'm out on him. All right, let's look at Boston's starting lineup. Leading off for the Red Sox in front of Devers, Story, Casas, and O'Neill, and Yoshida. Man, is he going to score some runs. The problem is, what's his batting average going to be? They got him projected at 256, which I would take. The amount of runs he's going to score, and he's going to steal bases, and. Okay. I'm going to think about him. I wonder what we got a target. And Chaz. I'm going to think about that. Think about Walker. Josh Naylor just went for $10. Not interested. Mitch Keller. Dude, if he goes for around this price, like $3, that is a steal. Keller should probably be like $10. Yeah, look, he's already going up. I'm gonna bump it. No, okay, I'm out. There's already guys in on this on Keller, so I don't need to bump it. But 2 guys right here, actually 3. Is Taylor Ward still like leading off? I've looked at this 5 times and I don't remember. I think he's batting like 5th projected. Yeah, 5th. I don't like that. If you switch these 2 spots right here, if Taylor Ward's leading off again, I'm in. But batting 5th, ugh. And listen, who knows? Rendon might not make it and he moves up. And if Taylor Ward goes from batting 5th to 4th, big difference. Like batting right behind Mike Trout, big difference. Whereas Rendon could hit into many, many double plays. All right, Snell is another guy that matters. He's already up to $10. What's he going to get to? A lot of people targeting Snell. Look at, he's at 12 already. 13. How high? I think he could get to 15. 14. 15. See? I don't know that he gets too much higher. 16. Houghton's Heroes likes his aces. 18. I think that's the most you should spend on Snell. Yeah. It's a lot. But I got a plan. I will, after Snell has like his usual bad start, I'll target him in a trade if I need to. Bybee, I like Bybee. I'm not in on it though. I don't need any more pitchers. I don't need any more starters that I'm paying for. Absolutely not. 3 is my max of like elite pitchers. And I think I have 3 right here. I didn't pay elite prices for all of them necessarily, but not looking to spend any more on pitching. Got to keep our eyes peeled. Got to keep your eyes on the prize. You can get lost if you get distracted. If you start thinking about other things on different pages, guy might pop up that you bid on and you take your eyes off the prize. I've got $74. It's a lot of money, but we're right around average. So it's not like a crazy amount. There's a handful of guys that are lower. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 guys that are lower. 6. 7. I mean, 73 is so close to 74. A couple guys right at the same I'm at. Like a lot of guys right there, but we're right about average. I'm talking this out so that we're all on the same page. It helps me to talk it out. But we've got plenty of money to spend on outfielders and keep our eyes peeled on a second base, shortstop, middle infield, corner infield, if there's a good deal that comes our way. Andres Munoz, $7 pre-draft value. People bidding up Munoz. Wow, he's up to 9. See, I was going to be in on Munoz. But at this point, that's too expensive and I'm out. He was one of the guys on my list. Basically, it's like if I get quiet, then you know. 12. Yeah, that's a lot. A lot of people were targeting Munoz. I see. Head-to-head categories. Yeah, I like Outman. Here's Jackson Merrill. I don't want to spend a lot on him, but I mean, he's on my radar. I would go $5. And that's it. I'm going to get him for $5. All right. I'm A-okay with that. Because he's going to, we already talked about this, but he'll be getting outfield eligibility soon. So he's going to have shortstop outfield eligibility, which is really handy. And I didn't have to pay a premium for him because not a lot of people know who that is. And he's batting lower in the lineup. If he can work his way up a few slots, which I think he will, let's make sure they have to pay a lot for Jordan Walker. You're going to have to pay more than that, my friend. I'm up to $10 right now. I'll take him for 10. Yeah. All right. We got our third outfielder. Making some moves. Spending a little bit of money. Starting to get down there, though. Got to be smart from here on out. Real smart. Trio went for 14. Yeah, I overspent on Trio. I didn't really want him for 14. I was just making him pay. And it turns out I was the one who paid. Here's Chaz. We got... Okay, he's already too expensive for me. And really, I feel like I'm in the driver's seat at this point. Don't need to panic. Don't need to seek anything out at this point. Everything from here on out is just gut, value. Probably most of the picks I get from here on out. I've got one guy that I have to get. But from here on out, we're talking... Jeez. Here we go. Here's a guy that people will like. Multiple position eligibility. Jeff McNeil. Everybody knows Jeff McNeil. They know he's got a high batting average. And he bats in a good offense. How much are they willing to spend? 4? That's cheap. And go a little higher on that short strokes. That's a good price for Jeff. Got a bargain. I'm not looking to spend that much on him, but I think that's a bargain. Ooh, Michael King. Interesting. What do we do here? Here's what we do. We go $3. We're in on Michael King. Rosser's Twinado, aces from spaces. Some people see that Striker's in, and now they're getting in. I almost got him. Dude, I thought I was going to get him for $3. How close is that? See, this is the game we get to play now. Where are the deals? And then people pile on. I love having a little bit of money to spend because a lot of times at this point in the draft, I don't have any money to spend. And I just have to sit here for like 30, 40 minutes of not being able to bid on anybody. I need some people to spend some money. And there are lots of guys to spend some money on. Let's turn 2. How dare you? Never. But that's a great nomination. I'm going to do that. Great idea. Let's turn 2. Great idea. The question is, will I get stuck with him if I nominate him? I'll take it, man. If I get stuck with him for $1, that's fine. It's going to be a little while until I nominate a guy. That is the auction game. Brandon says, Canzone for a sneaky bench bat. could work his way into being a starter. I don't think I'm going to have to go that deep. Because it's a mixed league, so we got AL and NL. Pete Fairbanks. He's already up to the point. Yep, another good reliever. I'm out on relievers. I've got one guy that I have to have, but I'm going to be in on bidding on a few different guys here. But there's only one guy left that I have to have. And his name is Jake Berger. Just kidding. Or am I? 31 home runs. Look at that projection. When he went to Miami last year, whew, it's on fire. $14 for Pete Fairbanks. We're at that point right now. There's always a wave that happens with relief pitchers. And the wave is super elite ones, you got to pay $20+ for, $20 to $25 for. And then you get kind of into the middle after all the elite guys are gone. And you can have your guy for a reasonable price. And then you get to the point where people are like, oh crap, I don't have any closers. And there's only so many. You know, there's 30 teams and there's not 30 elite closers. Let's say there's 15 guys that actually have their job locked down. So people start to panic. Top Gunners, eh? What you doing? You got all the money left? How much you gonna spend on Wyatt? 15. This is the last guy I had to have. He's not gonna go more than 6. Okay, you can have him for 17. You can have him. I don't know that he's a 7. I mean, he hasn't done it. He hasn't proven it in the bigs at all. But spring training, I suppose, is something. Got $17 free to spend now. Let's be positive. I wanted Langford though. Yeah, he was the guy. He was the guy. Or was it Jake Berger this whole time? And I'm just playing it up. Top Gunners, eh? See what you did there. I don't like it. Anytime there's a sweet player that late, people are gonna pay a lot. Let me see something here. We're gonna make some people pay because I'm willing to have Chris Bassett on my team. Yeah, he's already up there. I like Bassett. $9. Yep, you guys are gonna have to spend your money. 11. 12. Oh, let's keep going. Come on. 14. It's worth 14, isn't he? Short stroke's gonna come back in. No, he's not because he doesn't have enough money. He's down to $34. Aces from Spaces had the cash though. Let's see. Oh, Derek. I knew Derek was going to go after him. Clay Holmes, $12. Man, this was another guy on my list. But I've still got a few more. Or do I? I'd like one more closer. Gonna have to spend for him. What are we working with? Still a little chintzy on outfield. I'm not impressed with my outfield. I mean, we got some names, but what to expect out of Churi and Walker? I don't have a real strong read on that, and nobody does. We know he got paid, and we know both of these guys are top prospects. Where are they batting in the order, though? That matters a lot. No interest in Estrada. Look at all these guys going for mad buku bucks. $15 for Estrada. Second base shortstop who will get you maybe 14 home runs and 50 RBIs. Desperation is creeping in. So we got 2 guys on auto draft at this point who have no money left, hardly. Lots of guys in the $50 range, myself included. Nobody's too crazy except Team Jobu needs a refill. He's a good player. He's just kind of taking his time. I don't really know what he's doing. What's he waiting for? Not impressed, really. I mean, he's got a big 3 in the outfield, and he's got everything riding on those guys. I don't want Santander. I think he overperformed a little bit. Outman. Yeah, he's on my radar. Your league starts 3 relief pitchers, but it combines holds and saves. Yeah, we don't have anything that you have to start. It's just a pitcher spot. So you don't have to start any relievers if you don't want to. And there's no innings limit or cap or qualifiers or anything like that. So you can kind of do whatever you want. Tanner Scott for the Marlins. I'm going to slide into his DMs here. See if I can grab him for $9. Rosser's Tornado is at 10. I'm going to make him pay. You want him? How much you want him? This is the last guy on my closer tier. Jack Attack wants him more. Good, I made him pay more at least. Now we really got to start looking. Because all the guys I wanted for closers are gone. Got to get one more. But we also have to get I don't know. I'm not really could use another decent outfielder, but I'm not too worried if we don't get one. Same with catcher, first, third, not too worried. Because remember, we have Merrill here who's going to be an outfielder at some point. Yeah, Corey, he's available. A lot of people in on Bieber. He was on my list. He's going for a lot, kind of, but he's still not really. I'm going to make him pay. I'll take him for 11. There you go. Just bump him up a little bit. 12 now. I don't want him that bad. If my pitching was in a different spot, I would have paid more for Bieber. But I'm pretty good with pitching, so it's like Cole Reagans is good. He's gonna be nominated soon. There's Jaron Duran. I mean, how much? We got more stolen bases and stuff here. I don't know. Let's see what happens. $9. I was good at 8. I was okay at 8. Oh, here we go. Javi. Who wants Javi? Yeah, Santander went for 14, though. That's too much. I'm going to get stuck with Hobby. Told ya. Wah, wah. Oh, nobody bit. Nobody bit. Dang it. I thought at least one of the kids would have bit. Brent Rooker. At least I filled a bench spot that I can just waive. That's a great idea, Corey. He should add money back to my budget. Yeah. I like that. $3 for Rooker. Streaky, but a lot of power. A home run upside. What if Hobby had a resurgent year? I think I might just waive him immediately and go right to the waiver wire. Fearling for $1. He's yours. We're at kind of a gross spot right now that I don't like. I don't like anything happening right now. I don't like any of these guys. I definitely don't want Garcia. There's going to be a few players that people nominate for $1 for kicks that just get outbid because, like what Owen tried to do there. It's like, all right, you're going to have to pay $3 for him if you like him. Or is it a trick? Hey, I like the positive feedback. Can't be worse than last year for Baez. We're going to go with that. Let's find out. Ooh, Bryce Miller. For $1, pre-draft value was $1. Man, he's good. 7. See, now we're up there. Like at 6, I was thinking, ooh. 7. I think he's probably like a $10 pitcher. I don't know though. Where do they have Bryce Miller? He's probably somewhere in this glob. Yeah, here he is right here. The end of the glob. Wow, Reagan's got way up there. He's been touted over and over and over all year. The pros like Cole Reagan's because he had, after the trade, he had some good numbers. $14. Wow. Gabby Moreno, $0 value. Whirling Darvish likes him for $1, but he's going to have to pay more than that. I'll take him for $2. If that's my starting catcher, I'm fine with it. Not going to be, though. Can I slowly back away now? He's going to get up to 4 at least. Oh, yeah, Torque was taken. Muncie seems cheap. There's still plenty of options. Like here, let's have a one mouse wheel scroll down and see where we're at. Okay. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, 2, 3, 4. I see 5, 6. I see 7 guys with one complete mouse scroll down that I would like. All of them in the $0 to $1 range. Oh yeah. Lots of guys available. We'll just have to pretend that Baez thing. There's so many guys left. Muncy, tons of power. Let's see what happens with Muncy. I'd take him. I got a first, third spot open. I'll go like that. See if anybody wants to get crazy. $6. 7. There we go. There we go. Okay, that's what I thought would happen. $8 to $10 range. Yep. All the way up to 9. I could see him going for 10. There we go. People probably don't want to pay too much more than $10 though, because he's a batting average killer. $10. We need to keep our eyes peeled. We're probably on to... Do we have any of these guys left? And if not, we're going to have to go down here. And it's literally the last resorts. But some of these guys are going to be good. And some of them are going to lose their job. And some of them don't have a straight up handle on the job as it is. Tovar for $10. Wow. Upside, Colorado. Bring this over so I can study it. So where are we at on here? We are way down in... down in this area. Adames, he's good. But I don't have room for him on my roster, really. I think he like $9-10. Good spot for him. Look at all the money people are spending. You would think at some point there's going to be a whole bunch of value, but according to this, we're getting down to the nitty gritty. We're almost to $1 players and then 0. ESPN makes you fill every spot, yeah. Vinny P time. Well, here he is. $4 is probably where he's going to go. I don't think people are super high on Vinny in this league. Someone found $1 to spend. Team Jobu needs to spend some money. So that's what's happening there. We'll see if he goes up, spends $8 on Vinny. Yep, look at, see? That's why it's important to keep your eyes on how much money people have. Because he's got to spend money. He probably doesn't love Pasquantino, but just got to fill some spots. Tommy Edman, I got no interest in him, but multi-position eligibility, people are going to like him. He doesn't do much. There's a lot of guys at this point that just really don't do that much. Look at these projections. 12 home runs, 254, 48 RBIs. Just because he's multi-position eligible. Like if that only said second base, he's probably like a $2 player. Starling Marte. Old man Marte. Guess he's not that old, 35. $36. Past his prime. Speed guy, past his prime. But he has a name that people know, so he's going to go for $9. $10 even. Jobu needs to fill some spots. See, look at all the spots he needs to fill. We need Jobu to pay a premium. He's waited too long to spend his money. Oh, where are we now? Let's say, geez, I don't know. Man, he made the nomination time so fast. I guess I could have been on top of that earlier. Just nominate Varsho. I wouldn't mind Varsho. How much? How much do I want him? I'll bid $1. A buck more. Slotted in as 5th in the Toronto order. Draft has been paused. $8 for Varsho, $9 for Varsho. I think I'm good. Yeah, 10 for Marte. I think people are just getting desperate for anybody who they recognize. Anybody's name that they recognize, they're like, oh man, where's Dane Dunning at in terms of... He is in the leftovers pile. I think I'm out. Definitely out. He's only $3, so it's not like crazy. It's not gonna hurt you. Renhefo. We're at the point now where we gotta start checking, like, where are these guys batting? What all the info we can get. And you can't really do it during Renhefo leading off. $2. I'm gonna throw 3 on it. Just to see. Okay. Go ahead, have him for 4. I don't want him. I really don't want him anyway. Go ahead. The rosters can fight over him. Bid each other up. Alex Lang. I'm gonna throw. What do we got? Alex Lang. I think he's our closer. Yeah, last resort. He's like a last resort closer. I feel like Thank you. I thought he should get bid up a little bit, but I didn't really want to do it. Yeah, we're getting to the point where there's a lot. $58 to spend. I've got the most amount of money to spend. I don't like being in that spot. So now is the time where I can have anybody I want. Gotta figure that out. Who do I really want? Do I want to pay for a catcher? How much do I like Christopher Morel? Let's find out. Is he going to play every day? Ooh, is he batting cleanup? Is he going to play every day? Does he have to play every day? Bailey Ober. People are paying for Bailey Ober. I'm out. Seems stressful. It's fun. It's one of my favorite days of the year. It is a little stressful trying to do a live stream and talk to the chat and do all this research and everything at once, but it's fine. I live for it. $12 for Bailey Ober. Jonah Heim. I just don't want to pay for a catcher. Yeah, but against lefties, sometimes Morel wouldn't play. Rodon. Jobu still needs to spend some money. I think I'm going to get him for 9. Nope. Okay, good. You can have him for 10. Big question mark with Rodon. What player is he? It's much funner to take a chance for like 6 rather than 10. Jake Berger. Oh, my boy. Do I want Berger? It's not a great hitting park. But I got some money to spend and a spot to fill. Burger's going to go for $10. Come on. Come on, boys. You can have him. Batting in the 3 in a bad park. Decent lineup, though. Paredes. Tampa Bay. Isak batting in the 5 behind Harold Ramirez. First and third. Man, this is great. $10 for Paredes. Like, these dollar amounts are not accurate at all. I just can't find anything to spend money on. Outman's like down a ways, right? Yeah, 7th. Oh, I thought he was getting nominated. Drury, no way. He'd have to be my 1st/3rd. I'll have to remember I still have a utility slot available because Baez is not going to cut it. $8 for Drury, $9 for Drury. Is he going to get to 10? $10 for Drury. Woo-hoo-hoo. They might be accurate in a 12 team. Yeah, they're never accurate in our league because we've got keeper positions and all that. So it's never that accurate. Oh man, out. Well, I guess Altman's going to be a $10 player too. I don't love it. I don't even want him for 10, but I got to spend some money. Okay, that's fine. You can have him, Myrtle Beach Merman. You got a lot of spots to fill. I see that. A lot of outfield spots. I guess at this point, I don't love anybody. So it's going to come a time to just make a decision and go with it. Trevor Story, solid year last year. 22 batted 203 with 3 bombs. I don't think anybody wants Trevor Story really very badly. Everybody's going for $10 these days. Can I get him for 9? Okay, I'm trading out Trevor Story for you know who, Avi. So he can be my long-term plan is to have Story in at my second base shortstop, have Merrill slide into the outfield. So technically I'll still have a utility and an outfield spot to fill. I'm just glad I got to spend some money. Jeez. And Story is one of those guys who some of the touts are on. And if we're honest and he's healthy, crap, we got to nominate a guy. Mitch Garver it is. I do like Mitch, and I will take Mitch. I've always liked Mitch. If I got to buy a catcher, maybe now is the time to do it. But he's not going to play every day either, is he? What's going on with Cal? Is he splitting time with Cal? Jeremy Pena. So, yeah, he's going to be DHing a lot. What about Cal Raleigh? Maybe the backup option. Think about it. Still got Andrew Vaughn at first. Camanero's coming up. There's still guys. Still some dudes. Lots of money to spend. $49. Lots of spots to fill. $11 spots to fill. See, we're at the point where people probably don't even know these players. They're just trying to spend their money. Yep. Like me. I do know the players, though. But see, Rosser's Twinado needs to spend some money. So spend $10 on Brian Wu. Or I'll take him for 9. Because I know his K upside. And it's huge. All right, good. Jeez, I'm down finally to $40. Brian Wu was a guy I had on my team last year that I could have kept, but he was kind of on an innings limit. I don't think he's going to be on an innings limit this year. Yeah, I could do that, A-Rock. I got flexibility. Leclerc. Is this my last reliever? Fallback option. Jobu needs to spend some money. Come on in. The water's warm. Gonna have to spend 14 to get him. There we go. 15. You can have him. 16. Oh, okay. Matt Chapman. He's available. Jobu has spent his money, and now he's going to be out on spending. He's going to try to get some cheap guys. Rosser's Tornado, however, seems to try to overbid everything I do. So keep that in mind. What's up with Gavin Williams here? I'm gonna throw a little $4, see what happens. Maybe we can get him for cheap. Oh, surprise, surprise. Rosser's Tornado over the top. He's got an elbow, that Gavin Williams. Leclerc isn't the guy. Good thing I didn't get him. According to this, he is fallback option. Nobody's the guy at this point. Kyle Finnegan. I'm going to get in on him. Maybe he'll get a save or two from time to time. He's the one of the last resorts on my list. Oh, surprise, surprise. Rosser's Tornado outbidding me again. It's okay. I'll go 7. Come on in, Rosser. Oh, come on. Don't give me these free saves. They're so plentiful out of Finnegan. All right. Phew. I'm finally at a spot. I still have a lot of money, though. Still have too much money. Too much money to spend. About Hunter Green. Make some people spend some money. Finnegan's projected for 20 saves, so that's all I need for my number 3 closer. I just had to get anybody that was left that was going to get some kind of saves. Eduardo's hurt. Wonder what he's gonna go for. I'm gonna get this bidding going though for Eduardo. Some people know him. I mean, maybe I'll get him, but that's what I thought. Eduardo has a lat strain, which is not sweet, but I'm sure he'll be fine. Yeah, Hunter Brown's still available. That's pretty weird. How bad do I want him? Not that bad. $10. Still some expensive, really expensive guys at this point. I mean, look at the left. We're talking like $1 nominees, $1 players. Oh my, K. Should I try to get K? Kikuchi is an end of the globe type of player. So is Eduardo Rodriguez. Got a lot of guys in this end of globe area. Cal Raleigh. Poor Owen. I don't really want Cal Raleigh. I mean, I'll take him for $2 though. All right. Catcher has been taken care of. And now it's time for Brian De La Cruz. Plenty of people need outfielders. And then there's Brian De La Cruz. He is going to be batting in the 8 hole. And I want nothing to do with him. But Rosser's Tornado, you're welcome to take him. There you go. Congratulations. You got yourself an outfielder. How is K more than $1? Because everybody's more than $1. Not one player's gone for $1 yet. I don't mind Ryan McMahon. I do have a slot for him too. He's not the greatest, but he does play in Colorado, multi-position eligible. He's already passed what I want to pay, so I'm good. Yeah, he's going to get to what, $7, $8? The money's starting to dry up. $8, there we go. Top Gunners, Jack Attack, they both have money to spend. We're going to look at Top Gunners is going to want to get a shortstop in there. And a couple of outfielders. No pitchers for Top Gunners. No pitchers. He's got Strider. Okay, Strider. That's a great start. Look at he's gonna want Darvish real bad. And I don't blame him. But you're not gonna get him. Let's see if Top Gunners tries to get Darvish here at the last second. No, that's a great price for Darvish. Great price for Darvish. If I didn't already have like 1 million pitchers, I totally would have got in on him. But I'm pretty straight on pitchers. Papio, wow. You're going to have to pay a little more than that. That's a good deal on him too. But I don't know how that's going to work in Tampa Bay. How many innings he's going to get? Is he going to be so weird? Mitch back in Seattle. Yeah, I like Mitch. Clayton. Yeah, I'm on top of that, buddy. I got 2 guys on my radar. I like Kepler. Back when Kepler was leading off, man, that was fire because he could get you a home run, no problem leading off. A lot of people waiting on Morel. Look at boom, 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 boom. Wow. Wow. I'm going to slide in maybe at the very end and get him. I got enough money to spend. And I got an outfield slot I need to fill. Oh, that's who I was waiting on. I had to spend a lot, but I had plenty of money. Now I'm down to $18. I feel comfortable. Like we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We got like $3 to spend roughly on all of these positions. And most of these spots I was only going to spend $1 on. So we're in great. Anybody I want still. Now the guys are getting down to $3 range, $2, $3. Taylor Ward, like, don't need him now. We got outfield locked up. It's not great, but, there's huge upside here. It might not work out. All three of these guys might have a low batting average and just fizzle through the year being kind of average to below average, but I didn't pay that much. Chirrillo, Jordan Walker, and Morel, 3 young guys with upside. And Julio holding down the fort. And we got Merrill that could slide in there if I want. I hope he moves up in the order. If he does and gets his position eligibility, that's going to be awesome. I like it. I think my team this year is better than last year's. Andrew Vaughn. If I get him for 5, gravy. I think I got to save some money here. Although Vaughn for $6 is that's a good deal. I think Vaughn's more like a $10 player potentially, but he is on a bad team. But he's a solid hitter who can do it for you, who's not going to hurt you. And he's batting cleanup, I think. He's batting 5th. Young, yeah, that was a good pick. Crawford, no way. I got 2nd last year. Made it to the championship game. It came down to 1 statistic in 1 category. And I was winning until the very last game of the season. The very last game with 1 category. So, pretty disappointed I didn't win, but hey, 2nd place, Mason Miller. I'm going to bump that up. Oh, he bumped it up. Okay. Top Gunners really wants him. I'm gonna overbid you a little bit there, Top Gunners. I know you want him. There you go. You got to pay 5 for him. You can have him for 5. You just couldn't have him for 3. Or 1. Definitely not 1. He was waiting until the very end, Top Gunners. Wait until the end to fill out his pitchers. And he's got all these guys in mind, and I'm going to upbid him. I know he's got a sheet full of like $1 and $0 pitchers that he's comfortable filling out his roster with, and I'm going to bid him up on all of them. Caminero. Ooh, man, this is a good one. I'm going to get in on this. Maybe. But not anymore. I don't have the money to do it. We only got $18 left. Pretty full team. But we still have to be careful. There's going to be a couple guys that I want. There's one guy. There's actually 2 guys I really want here. There's plenty. I'm seeing plenty of guys. Suarez is not one of them. Got to grab Senga. Senga was on my team last year. If he wasn't hurt, I totally would, but he's out 6 weeks at least. I don't really like that. I can't afford to have him. I mean, I could slide him into my IL. Like, we're at the point now in the draft where I guess, but let's nominate him and see what happens. I'll take him for $1. See what people want to do. But yeah, nobody wants him for that cheap. Yeah, he's gonna. $5. I think I drafted him for like $1 last year, maybe. But there's actually somebody else that I have in mind. A couple other guys. Plenty of bench spots. We got 3, and if you, 3 bench spots. Tough with that Baez. $1 Baez. What if that turns out to be the pick of the draft? Nobody outbid me on Baez and he crushes. Michael says back by early May. Well, I won't have to worry about it. To the chill part of the draft. Rizzo for $1. Oh, there's Jack Flaherty. I like him. He says he's going to be available for opening day for Rizzo. So, yeah, that is a good pick. I'd be down. Definitely would be down. Look at they project him to bat 237. I think that's way too low. Yeah, Rizzo's he's a career 263, so I guess it's not like it's quite a bit below his career average, but he is 34. So he's at the tail end of his. I mean, let's be honest, he's been out of his peak for a while. Yeah, his batting average has actually stunk since 2020. The kid that year, when he was in Chicago, he had a high batting average. 286, 278, 292, 273, 283, 293. But once he turned 30, it's been downhill. 2022, man, he even had 548 plate appearances. Wow, Buxton. Jack attack waiting. Come on, Jack. You gotta let me have Buxton. That'd have been nice to round out the outfield. I'm going to let you have him, though. You just got to pay for him. Oh, that's a good question. Let's find out. First, what's up with Matsui? Who's their closer, anyway? He's the next in line. I don't know. I don't need any more relievers. I'm not drafting any more relievers. Unless they're super cheap. They got Matsui as next in line, so he's not even like starting guaranteed. Yeah, that's what I thought. Suarez was the closer, but I don't know if he's got it like locked down. Says he's a fallback option, so he's like, I think he's ranked around 20. And here's Suarez. I mean, geez. Matsui went for 7. What's Suarez going to go for? I would swoop in here and snag him. I don't want Top Gunners to get him. Oh, Top Gunners wants him. What? You need another closer, bud? $5. Okay, you can have him for 6. No shares of K. Nope. Maeda. Going for $5-6. So that Tigers bump. No, Anthony, I let him go hesitantly. Gavin Lux. Yeah, we're at this point right now where, yeesh. Although, still plenty of guys. But they all start to blend together if you don't know what you're doing. You have IL. Yeah, we have one IL spot. A-Rock. Didn't realize Maeda went to Detroit. Yeah, slid under the radar. We've got a pretty good pitching staff. Definitely some guys that could eat some innings. You're not gonna get him. There's going to come a point where they can't afford him anymore. This was like the last guy. There's 2 guys that I wanted. This is one of them. Top Gunners can have him for 12. Now he's got no money left to spend. There you go. But Shota was one of like two guys. Maybe 3. No, I'll be able to pick them up during the year, I think. Skeens especially. I think I'll be able to just swoop him up right before he's going to be called up. I can't afford to have him on my bench doing nothing. Yeah, they're $1. If you pick up a guy off the waivers, it ends up being a $1 keeper. Top Gunners doesn't even have this spot available. He just wanted to bid me up. I know what you're doing. I'm going to go 5 on it. What's Jobu? Oh, Jobu doesn't really have a slot for him. He's going to have to put him in his utility. You can have him. I mean, I didn't pass on Langford. I went way over what he was worth. If I would have spent that much on Langford, I might have been in trouble. Because look, I got a lot of spots to fill still. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, I was just planning on spending $1, but like nobody's gone for $1 yet. So by the time we get to dollar players, they're going to be scrubs. So if I would have spent that 16 on Langford, I would literally, like, I would have had to, wouldn't have been able to get some of these guys, and then I would only have the $1. At least at this point, I can bid like $2, which is one of my plans was to have more than $1 to spend on all the guys I wanted from here on down, which I have, and I'm in an okay spot to get the guys I want. There are 1, 2, 3, there are four people auto drafting. There are a bunch of guys with like no money left. Look at plenty of people have no money left. So it's from here on out, it's going to be probably $1 to $2 on a lot of these guys. I like Vaughn Grissom. He was going to be a guy. I just have no room for him. I'm gonna bid him up just cause. I'll take him on my bench. Good. I got the Red Sox shortstop position locked down. But Grissom was definitely a guy that I was spying. And now we got one last fella. Chris Bryant over under on games before he's injured. Jeez. He could get injured before the season even starts. But I wouldn't mind having him if the price was right. Well, he's still right here. Do I have any slots? I do have an outfield slot available. The one thing I don't like about my team is that I don't really have a whole lot of slots for picking up guys off the waivers. I have too many good players. That's a problem. Having too many good players in this format can be a bit of a problem. See what happens here. Oh man, you're making me pay. That's all that was from Aces. Making me pay extra for the guy I wanted. You're a jerk, Travis. I didn't want to spend 6, but it doesn't even matter at this point. I had to get Julian. That was the last guy on my list that I had to get. Everybody else said, we're just going to fill out the roster from here on out. Why were you going after Julian so hard? You bum. There's still plenty of guys. We've had over 100 in here the whole time. Wow. Shout out to you. $10 left. So we have $2 per guy to spend. So if anybody nominates a guy, I can go 2 on them, steal their guy, which is probably what I'll do right here. Perfect. And now Top Gunners can't get the guy he wanted. That's perfect. Because I know he was shy on pitchers. And he had, like I said, he had some of these guys that he thought he could get a good deal on. But it's pretty much all pitchers from here on out for me. I have way too many offensive players on my bench. I don't like to have offensive players on my bench. Seems like a waste. 2 shortstops and a second baseman. Like, I'm not... These 3 guys I had targeted as... I'd like to get them, but I filled my spot. I guess I have 1 spot. This spot available. I guess we could move Ellie like we talked about. Yeah, that's what I'll probably do. Move Ellie into the 3, first, third. Merrill gets that outfield slot. And then we've got... So actually, it's not bad. I will take Chris Bryant off your hands. Just as I told you, it's all pitchers from here on out. Okay, thank you. I mean, I would have taken him. But I wasn't super stoked about it. Oh, how about... We'll nominate Lee. If I get him for $1, I'll take him. If not, someone else can have him. There we go. Attaboy. There you go, Travis. He's all yours. Polanco's still there. I'm not... Okay, no more. No more. No more position players. Although technically I still do need an outfielder. I hate to... Because I don't know how long it's going to take for Merrill to get his eligibility. So in the meantime, I'm going to have somebody in there. Mason Wynn. Got some potential here, but you can have him for $1. He's going to be batting 9th, I think. Brian Abreu. Let's double check that Mason Wynn, just because it's good to be informed. Yeah, batting 9th. I don't want anybody batting 9th on my team. What's Adam all about? See, what is it? The Lauder. Nah. Why do I need, like, there's so much value at second base. I just don't have room for him on my roster. I wish I could grab him. He's batting third in this lineup. Houghton's Heroes. That was a steal. Now all the dollar players. Like, nobody has money left. It's just dollar bills. This is the most important part of the draft sometimes. A lot of times. Especially if you go studs and scrubs. Ultimate studs and scrubs. Like top gunners. He's really got to make all these $1 picks work out. Not all of them. Just a few, really. But having to pay 12 for a manga was not in his plans. I think he was hoping he could get that for like $3. Definitely going to grab Stroman if I can. I like that. That's right, Matt. We're on the same wavelength. Cards, and guitars. What's up? We're just winding this draft down, trying to make our final picks count. I'm happy about Stroman for free. What else do we need? Still got that outfield question mark. 1, 2, 3 slots left. $8. Money's not really a thing right now. Check out something really quick here. Dude, Nestor's their ace. Six people auto drafting. Melendez is going to be a pretty good pick here. Leading off, I'm going to snag him for $2 maybe. I still need that outfield spot. Melendez leading off. Owen. All right, Owen, you can have him for $3. What else do we got? Frankie Montas. Ooh, I like those last two picks. Nestor and Stroman for free. The New York Yankees 1 and 3 starting pitchers for free at the end of the draft. How does Nestor go for $1? No, Dr. Sticks has got to still be there. And what do I got left? 1, 2, 3 spots. And it's all taken care of. I guess an outfielder. I guess let's look at some outfielders. Just for the start of the season. Plenty of people. Kidding me? plenty of outfielders. I'll take any of them. Look at all this. All right, guys. Help a brother out. Who do you suggest? Here's our options. Benintendi, Parker Meadows, Verdugo, Kelnick, Frelick, Pete Crow, James Wood, Siri, Fraley, Haniger. I mean, Jock's even in there. Brandon Marsh, Rafaela. There's so many. We could just pick a guy up off the waivers after this is done. What? Wait a second. I just saw something, and I don't want to spill the beans. Oh my. Oh my. Kevin Stone, not bad. Reed Detmers is only... He's going to be free? Reed Detmers about to be free. Wow. I got my guy, though. Yeah, I know. Right here. It's not much different, but I don't really want to do that. Sorry, Derek. It was in the cards. I like Lodolo for free, too. It's pretty nasty. There's the doctor. Owen nominated the doctor. Rafaela, yeah, he's good. I'd take him. Stanton for free. And he's penciled in right behind Rizzo, Judge, and Soto. Okay. We're down to 2 spots. Perfect. Perfect resource allocation, you guys. $6 left. 2 spots. Just perfect. It's exactly what you want to do. You don't want to be left with $16 like Team Jobu, or $19 or $18. You don't want to be left with as much money, because that means, think about what you could have got for $18. He does have spots to fill, so it's not like he doesn't have 18 exactly, but these are all $1 players and guys you can get off the waivers at this point. So we need... What's up, AZ? Like, I'm not a huge Stanton guy, but for free, I will definitely take it. And he's in the best shape of his life. Classic. It all came together with the Baez pick. I can't wait to waive him immediately. I'm waiving him. And then I'll pick up like one of an infinite number of guys still available. Like Sal Frelick's probably not even going to get drafted. We got like legit big leaguers, prospects, veterans, stolen base guys, power guys, big prospect for the IL. Like I could just go waive Javi, bring Dominguez in, put him on the IL. I mean, we still have like just a lot of guys. I don't know what I want to do now. What do we do here? We got to get another pitcher. Best pitcher available. Help me figure it out. Now we can do this. I didn't want to do that earlier because I didn't want Stanton to just be sitting up there like ready to take. Look at, we got Skeens here. Savali. Let's sort by K's. Lance Lynn. I do not want Lance Lynn, but he's their number 3. He's 37 years old. Griffin Canning, Andrew Heaney. That's not too bad. Louis Varland. Like all these guys are going to be serviceable strikeout guys. But who will not destroy our whip? Griffin Canning? Is Louis Varland starting? Like, is he Minnesota? What number is he? He is their 5 pitcher. I'm not super excited about that. Jonathan India. There's so many good second basemen. Do I snag India from poor Owen? Yes. Too many. I know, guys. Way too many shortstops. I can't pass up India. Owen. I can't let you have him. He's just too good. And now we nominate who? Come on. How come I have no people to nominate? Am I full? Jordan Westberg. It wouldn't let me nominate anybody. Based on my search, there's no search. Oh. That was weird. Owen got back. Good call, Owen. Sorry I had to steal India from you. Apologize. I just have so many shortstop and second baseman that I said I wasn't going to spend any money on. Just too good of a deal. Like if Story doesn't work out, who wants to trade for a second baseman? Anybody got any extra outfielders? All the second basemen and shortstops that you can handle right here at Striker Breaks. What do we have? 1 spot left. DH. Util as Andrew Abbott. I like Andrew Abbott. See, I can't even bid up anybody. What do I have? 2 spots left? Looks like I only have 1 spot. I think we're going to call it. All 110 of you in here. This was fun. If you have any comments, leave them in the comments below. Let me know how you think I did. Team, I like the team. I think I'm pretty loaded. If I could have changed something, I wouldn't have nominated Baez. That was one mistake. There are so many players down here. Even at this point, there are a few guys that I wouldn't mind having, but I think if I could do it differently, maybe I would have spent more. I would have gotten an outfielder, one more elite outfielder. Because right now I just have a bunch of question marks in the outfield. And there's always question marks, but I wanted Soto. I had Soto written down for like 40 something bucks, and I wanted Evan Carter and Wyatt Langford and Mike Trout, and they all were too expensive. So maybe like an earlier nomination of Wyatt Langford. If I would have known Top Gunners was going to go so crazy over Langford, I would have nominated him right after he spent all his money and like got a better deal on him. But all in all, I think I did a good job. I want to know what you think.